Maybe Alex isn't talking to us. He's mad.
I know he's just ignoring us right now. Maybe he's got no audio.
I've got audio.
Mm-hmm. And rage.
You know what? Just be glad you didn't have to watch Cobra Kai.
I would watch that every day for the rest of my life.
Welcome to the All Pop No Culture podcast. I'm your host, Opie, and I'm joined this week, as always, by Kevin.
Hello.
You didn't
Alex.
wave, bitch. What's up with that?
He's learned. Alex, sir.
I'm here.
and Peter, our producer.
Hi, everybody. How are you this evening?
And this week we have another special guest. If you listened to our show 2 weeks ago, you've heard him. Returning as another special guest, I guess, is David.
I'm just happy you still think I'm special. That's nice. Thanks.
Well, that's what we were told to call you.
Yeah.
Oh,
But isn't my writer,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I thought, isn't that what we're supposed to call you? People like you? Is that not?
Yeah.
Or is it,
I heard anything else was
it's a PC
negative.
term, yeah.
It's more. It's not back to the R word, is it? Because that'd be weird. But anything could happen. I mean, it's New Year and shit is crazy right now. So I didn't know if I missed a memo. You know, things are changing so rapidly. So if you are a first-time listener to this podcast, it is a pop culture-centered podcast, primarily speaking on television and movies and things of that nature. This week, we are going to be discussing the Netflix series Cobra Kai. So if you're not caught up on Cobra Kai, I suggest
Spoilers.
definitely spoilers. Feel free to fast forward, but we're going to talk about Cobra Kai, and then also after that, kind of touch on just some of the stuff we've been watching recently, just as far as what we're currently watching, and in the coming months, we're going to be heading into award season, and probably highlight some of the things that are being highlighted. So we'll talk about that, and then we are finally getting our special review of Cats. So if you were listening last week, we did play a game, trivia game, to which Alex once again lost, but it was kind of exciting. I mean, as far as our games go, that was pretty exciting. I thought you were gonna pull it off.
Yeah,
like,
for a minute he was
just
taking
walk
it.
up like, yeah, 1, 2, 3, what bitch, and then just kind of like drop the mic. But nope, he ended up losing to that again, and was forcibly required to watch Cats. So, believe it or not, that is supposed to happen tonight. So,
We'll see.
To that, Cobra Kai. Who would like to start? Because I definitely have my thoughts. And Alex, I know out of the five of us, you're the only one who hasn't seen it. But feel free if to ask questions. I know you've at least seen Karate Kid, right?
I've seen it. I was probably 3 or like 5.
Oh shit! So you haven't seen it as an adult?
No.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, I don't remember anything because it came out
Interesting.
before I was born, like a year. But like I didn't see it.
Really? Fuck.
I haven't seen it recently.
But yeah.
Yeah, I always
that,
forget how our little baby.
That was a
man
big
is.
movie for me. I'll tell you
I'm
that.
a baby.
Yeah, I feel like it was on TV all the time. Like when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
when
That's
you
probably
had, like,
how I
8
saw
channels to choose from. You're click,
Yeah.
click, and like, oh, I like a Karate Kid again. I know this one. Let's watch it.
So when the song "You're the Best" comes on, you don't stop whatever you're doing and just reminisce for a few minutes of Daniel LaRusso going through the correct now. Okay.
No.
Just me? Is that just me?
No, I got kicked out of a grocery store because of that.
Did a couple crane kicks in the
Yeah.
in the canned food
It
aisle.
overcame me. I took out a whole fucking Pepsi display. It wasn't. A
He
good
does
scene.
the whole scene as Daniel, even like acting like his knee got fucked up. He's on the ground doing the whole dramatic thing. He's like, what is he doing? He's the only one there. Who's Mr. Miyagi he's asking for? So the Karate Kid, I've seen them all. In fact, that's one of the spinners on there. Actually, David, being part of the show, we can assign you a franchise to watch as homework. So we can. So don't anyone forget about that. At the end of the show, we'll see a franchise. Plenty of them on there. Karate Kid is one of them. That also includes Karate Kid 1, 2, 3, and the next Karate Kid with what's her face? Swank. Yeah, Hillary Swank. God.
That's right.
Will
Woo,
Smith
man.
one.
Yeah, I thought like
I forgot about that
that's
one.
right.
Jaden Smith.
That one
remake.
wasn't that bad as its own movie with Jackie Chan and a little kid based
That's
on the
all
Karate
I
Kid
need
thing.
to know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
Yeah.
to call
Middle
it
of the line review.
No, to call it the Karate Kid was off with that one. Like it wasn't.
Why? Because he's black.
No, because
Was he a kid?
They used the name to
Did he do karate?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
I'd say the name was right on point.
Was he a child of some sort?
Sorry, I'm going to be facetious and dickish as hell tonight. I
Awesome.
have this.
This is my
hate inside of
favorite.
me.
This is the best Alex we have. Yeah.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
may be getting
Don't
angry.
apologize. You should apologize all the other times you're on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch Cats again next week. Wow.
I will cancel my HBO subscription before I do that shit.
Every week we gotta try to get him to watch something that's just awful.
So you know what?
before the
Let's,
show.
why don't we hold on Cobra Kai? Let's just talk about Cats now. Let's just get that over with.
No, you guys already started on Cobra Kai. You had a good flow. Why don't you keep going?
Is that like Letterkenny right there? You had a good flow. Keep on.
Did
going.
you start? I noticed your memes and stuff.
Yeah, I am. I think I just might, because the seasons are short. It's like 7
They're like
episodes.
7, yeah, 7, 8.
So I think I might have just finished season 2. So I just might have been starting season 3.
It's
But
fucking
dude,
great, right?
Oh my
It's
god,
fucking great.
it's hilarious.
It's so good.
So
I just started this
yeah.
season. I'm 2 episodes into season 9.
Season 9, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Damn,
Not,
yeah, I have
the
a
first
ways to
episode
go.
of 9 was a little slow for me, but it gets better after that.
I thought the first season, like the cold open, was hysterical.
The cold
the rest
open
of
was
the
good. Just the
episode was pretty terrible.
yeah. But the rest of the season picks up.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a fun show. It's the one I can see myself after going through it, watching it again, because dialogue, I'm like, I understand what they're saying to an extent, but the lingo is just so like, what the fuck? I'm like,
you'll learn, you just learn certain phrases throughout the course of the show, the whole series, that the second watch through then it's
but
so much
that
more
one I
coherent.
sent you, does a duck with a boner drag weeds. I was
That's
like,
the best.
That's hilarious.
The
And his
hockey players lingo.
delivery.
Yeah, have you seen him in anything else?
Believe it or not, he was actually in Godzilla, the 2014 one.
Oh, he was?
Jared Kiso.
Really?
He was he wasn't like super big, but he definitely was the biggest character of like the Marines at the end of the movie when they skydive into San Francisco. He's like he's the main guy. He's like has tons of dialogue and
Okay. I just like to see what else he's done, because he's hilarious.
he's so funny, dude.
But anyway, back to Cobra Kai. As the hilarity ensues. So for me, Karate Kid was a big movie, big hit, really influential and stuff. And but I had seen Cobra Kai, the first episode, on YouTube when it first aired, because I think like the first 1 or 2 episodes were free.
It was a big deal too. It was like the first YouTube show.
Yeah. And so I watched the first episode. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. I'm good. That's not, I get the style of campiness and stuff, making fun of itself to an extent, but it was just, whatever. So I wasn't interested. And then when it came to Netflix and we're in this pandemic stuck at home, we watched everything else. The wife is like, oh, let's watch this together. And just like first season, I was like, okay, I just sucked it up and just watched it for what it was. And then the second season, I was like, okay, I guess I'm on board with it until that last episode, which we've talked about before. The last episode, I don't know what, everything was to an extent. It's like, okay, I can believe that. It's like watching wrestling. It's like watching wrestling. You're like, okay, it's fake, but I'll buy into the storyline, the drama. Same idea with this. So, till that last episode. That last episode was just so far-fetched, ridiculous. It's like just I don't know what the fuck. So that at the end of that, I was like, oh, I'm done. I just like I don't need to watch this anymore. This is just garbage. And then season 3 comes and again, nothing else to watch, and everyone's talking about it. So the wife's like, we gotta watch it. And then because of this fucking show, I'm like, God damn it. We're gonna talk about, so I guess I'll play. So the last couple
Darn
days,
it, you had to watch something you didn't want to.
no, just for the sake of the show. That's because that's the kind of guy that I am, Alex.
Did I not watch it?
I'd say by your face, you've watched it.
Took one for the team.
I think in the show notes I'm gonna post pictures of our chat.
Just smoke coming out of my ears and shit.
He looks like Anakin after he saw Obi-Wan walking down the ramp behind Padme. Yeah, he has that.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Should I just say all those lines now? Is that what you're looking for?
Okay, Cobra Kai was bad. Let's go on to Cats. Now,
no, you didn't even talk about Cobra Kai. The new season hasn't even been touched on. Stop asking for it. It's gonna happen. Just let it happen.
Let it happen, man.
Yeah, let it be organic.
So
down this root beer, so the carbonation fucking pops my eyeballs out of my head first.
By all means, someone else, please. If
okay, so I
you have a different take. If you're like, what are you talking about? What show were you watching? Cobra
I've seen
Kai.
a lot of people who like it on Facebook.
I know,
and stuff like
but
that.
I don't understand. Like that's the thing I'm trying to understand.
That's actually why I started watching it.
What do you like? Why do you like it? It's like why? Well, like for what purpose? Like what does it?
Well, does anyone here like it?
I actually like the show.
Well, there you go.
I
Enjoyed
would
it.
say that I love the show, but I thought the first season was entertaining. I am a big fan of How I Met Your Mother, and Billy Zabka being the hero of Karate Kid is like a running joke in that show.
Yeah, that's actually the one thing I do like about that show.
Yeah, and well, I mean, so the concept of the show I thought was really entertaining based on previous idea of that being possible, and so I was pretty excited for it. But then when it was on YouTube, I was like, I'm not paying and starting another goddamn streaming service. So I waited, and I heard a lot of people said they liked it. So once it made it to Netflix and it had 2 seasons, and again, we're all stuck in this shit, I was like, okay, let's give it a try. My wife, like instantly, first episode was like, nope, and like left the room. And so I don't even think it was like full episode.
See,
she was.
I've
out.
always respected your wife.
Yeah, she gave it no room, and then so I watched the first 2 seasons. And I really liked the first season. I thought the second season was getting even better. And then you got to the last episode of the second season, which truly sucked. But also I felt that the last episode of the first season kind of sucked too. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's just the way this show is going to roll. You're going to do the thing, and then you're just going to have a shitty season finale.
I don't even remember the end of the first season.
Yeah, I don't either. I was going to ask what happened.
No, it's because he won. That's where he wins the tournament. It's like the problem is you have to be able to buy in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. When was the last time you guys actually watched The Karate Kid?
No,
within the year.
Been, like I was a kid.
Yeah,
It's been a long time for me.
I watched it like a week and a half ago before I even started watching Cobra Kai. So I was already back in that, okay, I have to buy into the idea that some kid who started practicing karate 6 months ago was suddenly able to kick the shit out of all these people at the All Valley Karate Tournament. You just have to buy into the fucking premise. And if you just buy into all that, the show's not that bad.
I agree, but you have to.
It's a turd, but it's like compared to other shit that's out there, it's not that.
It's still a turd.
Yeah,
I think the show
place.
It knows exactly what it is.
Exactly.
And it's playing to exactly what it is.
Christ,
which is what makes it brilliant.
Season, you're like,
See, I think
It
it
just-
was until the last episode of the second season. Like that was so preposterous.
wait, no,
Like it was so
I know
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just watched a little while ago, but they kind of ran together. Is that the one where where there's the big fight and he falls and
school.
breaks his back?
Yeah.
Try,
Okay, and
try to
then
think of the most
It's the
ridiculous
fight
thing
at the
you've seen on the
school.
show.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if
Yeah.
that was the last episode of the second season, or the first episode of the third season, because it like that whole because like I said, I watched it all in one chunk at that point. Like I think I killed it over like 2 days. I had a weekend off, so it was just like
Oh
This is
yeah.
what we're
So I
watching.
just
so I just
I
burned
finished
through it.
2 like when it came out, and then
Mhm.
just started 3 this week. I actually used this show to trick my wife into watching 2 more episodes with me, and she was really pissed afterwards. Because I really convinced her into watching 1, and then when she wasn't paying attention, I started the second one. And
Nice.
so
So you're sleeping on
yeah.
the couch or what?
No. She
No, I
belayed
mean
me
that's fair.
eventually.
She has a reason to be upset, man.
She's made me watch some stuff that I'm just like, no, this one's not for me.
Yeah,
So-
I just
Yeah,
I haven't seen the show, obviously, but especially when you like cruise YouTube for a while, which I do pretty frequently, the ad for season 3 pops up a lot as like the before whatever you're watching ad. And the beginning of that, I guess, again, not seeing it, but what you just talked about, it seems like it might have been the school fight. It's like a couple clips of the school fight, like
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah.
falling and people getting slammed into lockers and shit. And the only thing I could think of, again, with no context, I haven't watched the show, I was like, oh, this looks like that scene from Mean Girls where all the girls start fighting each other in the school.
Kinda.
Like that's what it
Yeah.
reminded me.
Yeah,
But
basically.
it's
but
like
they all know
that,
karate.
but like, yeah,
But
the
that with
entire
karate?
school knows karate, and so like the entire school is kicking the shit out of each
Yeah.
other. And on top of that, you've got like a middle-aged man who has like the mental stability of those same kids, running around beating the fuck out of people. I mean, just like not holding back, slamming kids like head first into lockers, and you just like watching.
and
like,
the
this
one thing you're
carnage.
kind of wondering throughout this entire like scene, it's like 10 minutes. You're like, this is a school. Where are the teachers?
Yeah, there's no teachers.
like at all. Like for an exceedingly long time, you're like, a teacher would have shown up by now, right? After this is going on or that's going on. Not to
They're all
mention,
pacifists.
it all started because this chick took over the intercom system, which I assume is in the
Oh,
office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
I
right.
assume it's just sitting there, unattended. And soon as somebody's on it, nobody's going to go check to say, hey, who's on the intercom?
Oh
We
no,
know
it
who
was
is.
during. It was
Stop
during.
that
That's the
girl.
thing. It was during the morning announcements. She took the little intercom away from.
Yeah, but when she
Yeah,
calls someone
sure.
out and says, "I'm
Calls
going to
her
come to
bitch.
get you, bitch,"
Yeah.
I think that might turn some
Yeah.
heads. At least at my
Yeah,
school. I
yeah.
mean, I didn't go to school in Reseda, so I don't know. It's
Well,
really
this
tough.
isn't Reseda. This is the Valley.
Reseda's in
Yeah.
the-
I know.
You see it, yeah. But like that episode could have worked if that was like a dream sequence. Like that was the only way that scene works is if you just make it. And it's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I thought it was
At
terrible.
this point, that's the only way that makes a show work. There's so many things that just bug me, like the little detailed stuff that I
Like
killed
the
a wife
bad
about
teenage
this 'cause-
karate.
Well, no, just like
It's better than the bad geriatric karate.
Oh god.
it's just the things that they don't pay attention. I'm like little details. I'm like, assuming nobody's paying attention to anything. I'm like, everything just happens to be inconvenience of this and that, and how things just work together. Like the first thing that really got me is when Johnny got that car, that first car, the
Yeah.
Dodge Challenger, and instantly tricks it out, right? With the Cobra Kai embroidering on the seats. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you if you're telling me that happened today, because
Yeah.
that work is like you're waiting 6 months for something fucking like that.
Plus, he couldn't
then
afford a
totally-
car, but he could
But
afford
also-
to trick it out.
Exactly all that.
Like, where's this
So
money
that
coming
right there,
from?
like,
worth of work that got put into
okay,
that
so
car
I
because the
gotta
paint job was
gotta
repulsive.
suspend. Okay, I'm just gonna assume he just like it's like a video game. You just quickly upgraded, and there it is. And so stuff like that. So I'm like, all right. And then this season, the third season, one thing I was laughing about was every scene with Miguel. Like he starts off in a coma, right? And then he wakes up. Then the next day he can't stand to do shit. And then you go see Twisted Sister, and that taps the foot. And then he just goes from there. Instead of like real physical therapy, Johnny's got it. Don't worry about it. I'll give him to walk by lighting his foot on fire or hooking him up by a pulley system. I got this, Doc. Don't worry about it. He'll be
porn
just
over his
fine.
head.
And then
Who are you? I'm his sensei.
Once he gets his balance, he's walking around. He's good. He's back at school. And then immediately gets into a fight. But other than that, it's been a pretty tricked out 2020 for him.
He's getting slammed into walls and shit after having a broken back.
That I noticed, and I'm like, okay, thinking Miguel lives in the valley. He's not a rich kid. They make quite a point about that throughout the show. How is it that every single scene you see him, he has a different pair of shoes on?
Right?
Different shoes, like seriously, different shoes. Not like not where it's like, oh, those were shoes he was wearing a week ago. No. You don't see a repeat of any shoes. That the sound like fuck you. I was like,
subtle.
I'm just noticing that
racism.
I don't
That's
like.
all
And
it
then
is. It's subtle racism.
Levi's
If the Latino
must be a
kid
sponsor.
wouldn't have bought so many shoes, he wouldn't be poor. That's what they're trying to say.
But Levi's has got to be a sponsor because Johnny has at least 3 Levi jackets and he wears a Levi's t-shirt all the time. So I'm like, we're trying to pick out all the sponsors throughout the show. But
Coors
so
Banquet,
like
every time he says Coors Banquet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
when they're at the
just-
mall, it's the best. Because it's like product placement galore. They stop right in front of
It's
American
just so,
Eagle Outfitters. Look, we're at Aeropostale. It's so fucking bad. But
that's what makes it funny.
It leans into it. It completely fucking leans into it.
But it leans into it and then falls over it.
It does fall over it
and then what's his name? The dude with the lip. Hawk.
Hawk.
The dude who got that kick-ass tattoo on his back as a 17-year-old. And what I really enjoy is the fact that at the beginning of all this, these are like all nerds, right? They're all just like kind of geeks. Well, I don't know many geeks that just automatically get athletic out of fucking thin air within a year. It's like, let alone it's like, okay, you're taking karate, but if you're not athletic, you're gonna have a hard time. It's just that kind of stuff started to really seep in.
Well, no, they did that with Eli before he was magically able to kick Hawk into the trophy case.
Oh my god, yeah. I just feel like all these were like first take. They just did one take of each scene and just.
If you think about that with the first season, that makes sense because it was the first YouTube show, right? So they would have been on a budget. So they would have just been like, let's do this. And we're not going to get it perfect. There wouldn't be 1,000 takes of every scene. They wouldn't have had time. Right. So like that first season but the first season was the best season. I'm
never going to go back and watch it. So I'll have to agree with you. Because I know it wasn't the third.
When he goes back to Japan and magically meets the girl that's in charge of the auto distributor, so that that just worked out.
I was like, where I was waiting for it's like every episode's like they're copying the Mandalorian with all the cameo episodes, and then they should have had where's the dude from where's his other girl from Karate Kid 3, the redhead. It's like he got Allie, he got
that's season 4, dude.
Whatever.
Season 4.
That's
season
right.
4, season 4 is for the deep cuts.
It's gonna be that's when Hillary Swank will make a cameo asking, is Mr. Miyagi still live around here? It's like, ooh, bad news.
Yeah, bummer, dude.
Then also you start hearing that flute music. He's like, you know exactly what's going on in the show just by the music change. It's like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but it's supposed to be bad. Or I don't know what's happening, but it's supposed to be sad right now. Or it's a memory.
Well, it's like, season 4, they've already set it up. You know exactly what's going to happen in season 4. It's going to be the big duel in the valley at the valley
That's
tournament.
The other thing. All this over like a karate. Like, remember when shit went down when this karate dojo was going after that karate dojo? What are you talking about? Karate? Who the fuck is taking karate?
Well, that's what I love too, is they cannot not say the word karate. There's karate gangs, there's karate this, there's karate that. It's karate. all the time. I'm just like, dude, we got it. The show's about karate. It's in the name.
One of my
It's
favorite
like,
parts is that like Daniel LaRusso is this hot shot because he is the 2-time champ.
Yes.
And they're
Yeah.
always like,
It was
2-time champ,
years ago.
2-time
Dude.
champ. Right?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
38 years ago. No one's ever gone back to back before, and no one's won ever more than 2. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. The amount of reverence they give a guy who's won it twice. And if I remember correctly, Johnny's won it at least once, right?
Yeah, I know. I thought
Yeah.
he was a
Champ.
2-time. Unless he was just
So-
defending his championship the second time. But I thought the same thing. I was like, wow. That what kind this is in the valley of Los Angeles where it's like, dude, no, you come to Reseda, you gotta talk to Daniel LaRusso. 2-time son.
2-time
Two-time.
champ.
yeah, because like 30
times.
years later, every time somebody comes in, they're like, do the thing.
And the
He's kinda
second time,
dudes
he was
karate
like
shit.
this close to losing.
Okay, no, that is this car dealership brings me to one of the only like super highlights of this show for me has actually been Brett Ernst, the comedian that plays his cousin. Brett
That
Ernst
guy
is
is
really
pretty
funny.
funny.
If you go listening to some of his
Yeah, he's
comedy
pretty
stuff
funny.
or some of the stuff, so like podcast visits he's been on, the dude is fucking hilarious. And he like
So when
every
he's
scene
not
he's
scripted
in,
then?
yeah, but every scene he's in, he like you only pay attention to him. The rest of it's like, eh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they, yeah.
He was
Needs
the
to be
whole
in more
show. He was
episodes?
basically the whole show. Yeah. I didn't care for him. I didn't care for most of the people on the show. But
I
Yeah,
just
love
love how
the-
much they're able to get away with in this season that like no one fucking seems to want to press charges for. They break into the zoo. They
Yeah, I
steal
know.
a snake.
that was
Yeah.
Right,
that was
they-
something we were
they
laughing
s-
about in the last episode. It
they
just starts with something being thrown through the window. It's like,
Yeah.
what? That
Yeah.
escalated.
You know, they end up like every time they have a fight somewhere, they basically like level whatever that is, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's a wasteland afterwards, including like Russo's house at the end, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and of course,
yeah.
Daniel's every piece of furniture is made out of glass, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
because
that was the
there are
thing,
not
too.
enough windows to throw people through,
So-
they
so-
gotta break more glass.
So yeah, so then he goes and confronts Kreese that what's going on, and finds Johnny there too, already fighting him. They're fighting. Kreese is about to kill both of them. He's choking out Johnny, about to kill him until LaRusso kicks him, and he picks up some glass like he's gonna stab him. But then they're like, "Oh, all right, let's settle this at the turn of it."
Just calm down. But the best part about
What?
that is the best part is the fighting, dude. Like I texted you guys, but I was like, dude, it just turned into Tai Chi. It wasn't even fighting. They're too old to fucking fight. So they're just like,
Well, no,
it was
that
so
was the problem, and
worse, dude.
that was the thing with Kreese for me. Like I like the little whole flashback thing to you know how you find out how he became the dick that he is and how Cobra Kai got its name. I was like, all right, I'll whatever. But when he gets into the fight with Johnny, you're like, you start doing the math. Dude's creeping on 70.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way.
Like,
That was
the
the way
hard
Johnny's
life
would-
that he's led. You're trying to tell me honestly that one of those kids couldn't honestly kick the shit out of him.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and Johnny, who also miraculously has stayed in some sort of crazy drunken good shape, through the
Yeah,
beginning of
drunken
the first
master,
It's
dude.
all that Coors
Yeah.
Banquet.
It's a light beer.
Liquid gold, dude. Liquid gold.
Oh,
So,
Yeah.
It's just
So season 4. I'm very excited.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm pop
Well,
committed now.
I'm out. I'm
Oh,
out.
I'm
of
gonna
course you
watch
are.
it. I'm definitely gonna
Oh,
watch it.
I'm out.
I love
yeah.
that he just straight up steals that car from Daniel LaRusso, the minivan.
Caravan.
Like he just steals it.
Yeah. It's just.
Yeah, and it's just his now.
It's just his
Oh,
now.
and then
It's
and
just-
just the whole thing when
So-
the ex-girlfriend showed up. That whole
So-
fucking
so-
No. Okay, so Allie comes back. That's one thing. This is the scary part because you're talking about this now. They've actually announced they're working on spin-offs and creating a whole
No.
Cobra Kai
No.
verse.
No.
Swear to God, I'll
No.
find it for you.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're
Hard
you're
pass
telling
things.
the truth. I'm just saying. I hope.
But like,
that's
who's
not a
the
thing.
audience for that? like realistically, who's the audience for a spin-off of this show? Is it
13-year-olds?
kids?
only
Like,
audience.
14-year-olds. I watched it with my daughter, and she liked the Karate Kid, and she saw it, and still as a kid, she didn't like dislike it as much as as much as I did. She's like, well, it's not the best, but it's it's still kind of funny.
And that's the audience that they're shooting for.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the discerning taste
yeah.
of 14-year-olds that don't give a shit.
Anything in the green, fellas. Anything in the green. I don't care if it's like lime green. That's a positive. We count that. That's who we want. Middle of the road. I'm like, well, it's not anything worse than I've seen lately.
The creators have ideas for 5 more Karate Kid spinoffs.
Awesome. Because I want to know what's going on with the Hawk. That's the guy I want to follow.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I get what they're trying to do. It's just I can't. I just can't do it anymore. And so I bid Cobra Kai adieu. Enjoy next season.
I will watch season 4. I will hate it, and I know this, but I will watch it.
Yes.
I mean, I'll probably have to end up watching it. I'm just right now. I'll just state it won't be willingly, so it might be a punishment. Who knows? But speaking of punishments, segue. It's about that time. Alex, you've been sitting quietly there for a bit as we go on and on about our show, and now the floor is yours, sir, to give us our review of the movie Cats that you watched. And like we stated earlier, David has seen it. I think Pete, you haven't seen it, right?
No.
And then Kevin, obviously, you have not seen it.
No,
Yeah,
I would never do that.
So I've seen the stage show one night, so I have an idea of. I mean,
you don't.
You've seen the stage show too, so okay. But I'm sorry, I've been talking too much. So please, if you would, sir, how was it?
So let's just start at the beginning.
Okay.
Diana's a kid, and she's doing some Olympics on Themyscira.
No.
And then she cheats.
That was last week.
And then she cheats, and she gets a life lesson about how that's not good. I just figured we could pick any bad movie, and I'd rather talk about this one. All right, I'm gonna give you the feeling that I had.
Is it
literally 1 minute in until the end? Really, the feeling that I had inside of myself. And this is gonna get dark, so strap the fuck in. You know that feeling when you're driving around somewhere and you see like a dead cat off to the side of the road, and you get that feeling in your gut? You're like, oh, like poor kitty, like that sucks. And then you have this like weird stomach churn. At least I do, because it makes me sad. It gives you this really like kind of unsettling, like, oh man, like there's nothing I can do, but that sucks. And like, it feels bad. That's what I felt like through the whole fucking movie. I just had this horror, like I'm not even joking when I say
truly bad.
5 minutes in, I started getting a headache.
It is disturbing on many levels.
Like 10 minutes in, I felt like I was going to throw up. And those feelings just kind of went back and forth the whole time I watched it. It's fucking disgusting. It's actually fucking disgusting, this movie. Like it has no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
No, they don't. There's no plot.
It's literally the worst thing I've ever fucking seen.
Wow.
Worse than The Room, worse than Solo, worse than Wonder Woman 84, worse than anything I've seen.
Worse than that Larry the Cable Guy movie?
Worse than that.
Wow.
Like it's
that's gonna be one of my questions, was if it was worse.
That's awesome.
That.
Yeah.
Than Witless Protection. Yes.
Wow.
It has literally nothing good.
I almost
like
have to watch it.
I can't even think of something that I was like, oh, okay, that was all right. Like it just the whole time through. And I'm not gonna lie, even if I could understand what they were saying in half the songs, which you can't, which is how they tell the plot. Because I think probably in total, and you can, that's the thing. They say it in the songs, but it's still not a story.
Yeah,
Like, but that's the plot, quote unquote. I
It's a
think
collection
there's
of
probably,
poems.
I think there's probably 20 lines of spoken dialogue in this movie, and the rest of it is just songs.
I know.
And really fucking bad
Oh.
ones at that are unintelligible. Like you have no idea what's happening, and then half the words you can't understand because they're like flippity florp and bloobity blop and all this bullshit. And like, and all the cats are named these ridiculous things like
Cavity,
Schnickersnickums and shit. And
Bungo
it's
Jerry.
just like, I couldn't, even if I actually fully paid attention the whole time, which I did not. There were times when I would just look at the wall above my TV and just like stare at it while the movie was on because I couldn't stand looking at it anymore. Like it's so fucking gross. Like it's like the scene that, and this is when I turned it off the first time, by the way, the scene that made me turn it off after the first time. Yeah. I couldn't watch this in one sitting. I would have vomited. Was when Rebel Wilson's cat gets introduced and she starts scratching her vagina. And that's not a joke. Like she's like is this fat cat and she like lives inside and all the other ones live outside, I guess, but they can just go inside and hang out with her. And I was like, okay. And then she's like chilling on a chair and she fucking lifts her leg up and starts scratching her vajayjay. And I was like, I'm done. I just turned it off. Like I was like, I don't want to look at this anymore. Like I can't fucking stand this. Every vocalist, I guess if you want to call them that, everyone singing is awful. Even the people who are actual singers like Taylor Swift, and I'm sure there's a couple of other ones in there, but they have like Judi
Jennifer
Dench
Hudson,
and Ian McKellen, and they're singing for real, which, you know, commendable, I guess, but they're fucking terrible. Like every song is just bullshit. It sounds like something some kid made on his kazoo when he was 4 years old. Like the noises are like the movies. The first sounds I heard, which is the only thing that I could do because remember my Apple TV was on the fritz and I had no picture and only audio. So like I just turned the movie on. I was like, oh, it's all fucked up. It's like this just circus music that sent like a chill up my spine, and it made me want to jump out my fucking window. Like it was just like, and that was just the audio from the first 5 seconds of the movie. I was like, this is gonna be a nightmare. Like, and it absolutely was from beginning to the end. I think it faded to black and I turned it off. I think it was the end. I don't know. Oh God.
Now I remember when I saw the stage show.
I saw it too when I was super young, maybe
I was
11.
I want to say I was early teens. I'm probably like 15 or 16 maybe, and I saw it in San Francisco. But I remember midway through it, maybe it was at the intermission, but that's when I found out that there's no story.
Yeah,
it's not like and I was like, oh fuck, like because I didn't know that because I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I'm like, I have who? I was supposed to remember these fucking names. What?
Yeah,
none of these songs, like I don't like any of these songs. All these songs fucking suck.
Yep.
So that was my, so I'm like, Cats is not for me. So I knew obviously the movie. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Well, I feel like they tried to make a story. They tried to have something happen. Like you follow this cat who is thrown into the alleyway like in a sack, like her owner didn't want her or something like that. Like that's the first scene, is her getting like a sack and it's moving and it gets thrown into an alley, and then all the other cats come out with their fucking weird faces and their strange movements, and then they teach her the ways of street life. But the whole movie is just a bunch of montages of her going from one place to another, being like, this is how these cats live, and this is how these cats live, and this is how this cat lives, and it's just that over and over and over. And I'm like, and the whole it's pointless. There's no fucking point to this whole movie. It's so dumb.
Well, that's the first when I saw it on stage was I had no interest in it at first, and then in 7th grade, my 7th grade English teacher had us do a project where you had to memorize and do kind of a dramatic reading of one of the poems from the T.S. Eliot book that all these stories and all these cats are pulled from. And so
is that a thing? I didn't even know that.
No, it's based on this series of poems by T.S. Eliot about
I've
cats.
never done any research about it, so I would never have any way of knowing that. because I never
Well, no, that's it. Well,
wanted to know more.
doing the research on that and memorizing that is actually what brought me to Cats. And so I went and saw it, and I went into it knowing there was no story. So it didn't
That's good.
I knew about it ahead of time, but in some weird way, you've made me want to watch it.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's what would happen.
In the unlikely event, although more likely now because I was pretty close last time, in the unlikely event that I ever start winning games, you're all watching this.
Oh, is that going to be the
That's going to be his punishment?
It's like,
it was going to be Witless Protection. It was going to be that. It is shifted to this.
So the next, are for me, Pete, Kevin, and now David, welcome. If we lose the next time we lose anything, that's going to be our
David's
first
seen
punishment.
it, so he's
seen it.
From
That's right.
Punishment.
That's right.
He's
And
exempt.
he didn't put this on me. I'm not mad at him.
Fair. That's fair.
I'm not mad at him. I could just see
All right,
Alex
so-
every day now goes home and just starts reading books on pop culture, just studying for fucking quiz shows. He's
I'm
just
going to be
fucking
answering
ready now.
everyone's questions before they're even completely asked. Who was the Will Smith? Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah. Who was the Will Smith? Damn it.
I went into Cats not knowing anything about it. I hadn't seen it on stage.
How is
I
that
knew nothing.
possible? How is that possible?
I knew it was a thing, and I knew it was Weber, and I know I don't like Andrew Lloyd Webber, and I've seen the costumes.
just
and
who you are, who your wife is, how.
Well, my wife hates that show.
But still,
But how do you not know about it?
But how do you not know about it? That's the thing.
Well, I had heard of the show, but I didn't know that there was no story, that it was based on on poem. I knew none of that stuff. So, and we knew it was going to be terrible. So we got totally trashed beforehand, and it was a large group of us. And this is the only reason this was bearable, because everything Alex said is exactly true. And it would have been fine and maybe a lot more tolerable if it had just been people in cat suits.
Right.
But
That would have been so much better.
What
Holy
they tried
fuck.
to do with this CG.
The CG was god awful,
It's
worse than
horrifying.
Isn't it a mix though? Isn't it a mix of practical with CG?
No, not really.
I don't think so.
Even
No.
if it is, you can't fucking tell.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's really, and the proportions change.
Oh,
from,
all
like-
the time.
like
and the
minute to
proportions
minute.
of
I
the
heard
cats,
that.
one
Yeah.
time they're this big, and then the next time they're half the size of a car, and you're like,
Oh
huh?
yeah,
And
I
then
heard
their
that.
faces constantly look like they're detached from their bodies. Like for some reason, the artists couldn't turn their heads and their faces at the same speed. So like if this is the face, the head would turn and then the face would go
Like,
after it.
catch
And
up
you're
to
just
it.
like, oh God, like it's some poltergeist looking shit. It was horrible. Like, oh God.
Now imagine seeing it on like an 80-foot screen, because we were like,
Oh, you went to the theater?
We saw it opening night.
Dude,
Opening
what?
night in the
What?
theater.
How'd you get tickets?
Oh yeah,
Did you know
we
somebody?
made a thing of it.
Midnight showing? No way.
We knew it was gonna be
Did you bring your
crap.
cat ears?
How many
We knew
days
it was
did you
gonna be
wait in
crap.
line?
Yeah. So we got our tickets, or actually, I don't honestly think we paid.
What
My
at
friend
you
who
got
works
when
at
you
that
got to the
theater.
door?
It's good. You should not pay for this movie.
Yeah.
So
So
I
we
don't
got our
remember for sure
tickets
that, but there's a
after-
solid possibility I didn't pay to see that show.
Yeah. We got our
The-
tickets after we convinced Fandango that we wanted tickets for cats.
The
Are
the
you
thing
sure?
that even beyond this just being the worst movie ever made in the history of cinema, which it is, something that I was like, maybe there's a glimmer of hope in that, like some of the songs will be at least okay or at least kind of catchy, which they weren't, of course. But beyond that, like as someone who's played music most of my life, like the way that they rhymed the songs,
Oh,
they just
don't-
rhymed
yeah.
the same word over and over. And it was usually some fucked up fake word like McGliffin or something. And they just used that word every time they needed to rhyme. And I was just like, so not only are you making bad songs, but you can't even like take the time to find, like, words are very easy to rhyme. Even if you don't have the time. See what I just did right there? I just fucking
No.
rhymed those two words. It's really just
I missed it.
every ounce of my human being was just like, I feel like I lost 5 years off of my life watching this movie. Like it's just
It was truly
you have a silver
horrifying.
streak
Now-
in your hair now, like
yeah,
the
I look
mom
like Rogue from the
Poltergeist.
X-Men.
Now, would the buttholes on the cats from the supposed butthole version make it any better?
It would
I
absolutely
saw
make
the
it.
butthole version. That's the
You
version
did?
I saw. Because
Oh, no.
because we were there. It was opening weekend. Only opening weekend.
Oh,
saw the
butthole version was like the main version, like that
It was
was
the unpatched.
and
It was the unpatched version. Right?
everyone got so pissed about it that they just like.
So it was the other way around. I don't remember what was first.
No. Butthole edition was first. That was the original edition.
I wonder
And
if
then
you buy on
after that
iTunes
weekend,
and
they-
you get both versions.
You can
It's
get
supposed
a
This is the
butthole.
special edition.
This
No,
one
there
was
was no
butthole
It's called the
filter.
theatrical release one, and it has in brackets opening weekend.
Yeah, there were no buttholes in my version, and if there were, I think I would have actually
Yeah.
vomited. Like it
Well,
would have.
well, that's the,
See, I
that's the
didn't
thing.
know any better. But then I do remember seeing the whole thing and then going, "Oh, well, those buttholes were nasty." So, like, I'm glad they're gone.
They got a
But the
little
mere
litter
fact
stuck
that-
to
that-
them.
Oh God.
The mere fact that Pete asked you that question, I was thinking that while you're explaining your experience of watching it, that you're probably thinking, however, if there were buttholes, that would have fixed it. That would have made this just a better experience overall.
Mm.
I mean, that's how I feel about
That's
most
not-
movies.
that's not-
There's nothing in the
Yeah.
world
Yeah.
that can make that movie a better experience.
if the buttholes were there. 'Cause
If they ran the
the
credits
buttholes-
right after they said cats, that would have made it a better experience.
What
That
if-
might have worked. Yeah, that might have worked.
When you saw it, David, also wasn't that when the hands, like there's something wrong, like it still showed their
There was
Oh
all
yeah, like
kinds
at
of
one
problems.
point, like Judi Dench's hand is just like there's no cat fur. It's just like
yeah.
elderly woman hand, just like and
Whoops.
like
Well,
multiple
thank
times
God
she
that was
had-
cleaned
with,
up
like,
for
her
mine.
wedding ring on and everything. Like
Can you
yeah,
imagine-
there was all kinds of problems.
Can you imagine if you were the artist that was your scene and you're in the movie watching it at the premiere and you're like, oh shit.
I bet the
I
artist
read
didn't go to the
somewhere or
premiere.
Something that
They
said
did not go to the
had,
premiere
like-
for sure.
Yeah, I gotta
They
go.
had like 6 months to do the 3D rendering and everything for the
Oh, that makes
trailer,
sense.
right? For the trailer, and then they had 6 months to do the entire rest of the film.
That must have been a typo. It must have been like 6 months for the trailer and then 6 more days to finish everything because that's what it looked like. Because it was awful.
Oh, it was terrible.
There was a scene at the beginning of the movie. It was like at the very, very beginning. It was like a cityscape. And I was like, oh, that looks decent. And the trick was there were no characters in it. As soon as the characters showed up in front of the obvious screen, I was like, oh, that looks like horse shit. Got it. Like I was just like, because like the cityscape by itself, I was like, oh, okay. Like maybe at
Not
least the
bad.
CG will be okay. It'll look kind of neat. No. It was.
Jennifer Hudson singing Memories wasn't even good.
Who's Jennifer Hudson?
She was on
Which
American
one?
Idol.
Which
Yeah,
one
she-
was she? I
She
don't know.
was
Which,
the one that sings Memories. It's like the big solo, and she cries. I think she's the one who ends up getting the.
oh
ticket
yeah,
out of there.
she ends up being the chosen one or like the
Yeah.
Neo of the. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
The
I saw that
Neo.
kind of.
Well, apparently, according to people who've talked about this, you win means you get to die and go to cat heaven. I guess I don't know.
Is that what Judi Dench is choosing people for? Because I
Yeah,
know that
apparently
was her job.
to get euthanized. Apparently, they're all fighting
Ah.
to get to die and get out of that hellscape.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Except
Could
it
any-
doesn't at all.
Well, could anybody from the audience volunteer as well?
I would have jumped right through my screen.
Yeah. Yo,
I'd
please
be
just
like,
make it end.
end me now. End me now.
Man, now I like really don't know if I want to watch it or not. So I know Pete, you can't watch it. You got to wait till you lose a game.
Well, you're in the
Yeah.
same boat then. In that case,
Yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see it. I mean, I know that I remember not liking the music then and not liking the story or anything about it. And when I saw the preview, immediately I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
So
If you do see it, don't go into it sober. Please, dear God, don't go into
I don't
it
go
sober.
to anything sober.
But don't go into it with like hallucinogens, because that's going to be even worse.
You just shit your pants
No,
and fall asleep.
I don't drink, so I'm always sober, and then
Yeah.
that's just my life.
Well,
so
sorry,
no
that's,
choice
yeah.
that's going to make.
I'll
things
just have to
very-
do an 8-ball and then just go hard. Just go hard.
I think that's
get,
how
like,
it was written.
Just get like LASIK surgery before you go in, so you can't see anything. Maybe the movie
Yeah, there
will
you
be a
go.
little bit better.
Just listen to it.
You
I'm like,
still
it
have to
sounds
listen to
okay,
it.
I guess.
That's not any better.
It would be better than having to look at it. It's still not good, but it would be better at least.
I guess like you said, none of the singing is very good.
No, not any of it.
That's actually a
And,
bummer. I
that's
haven't bothered
unfortunate.
listening to the soundtrack. Yeah, like the
If
cast,
you had,
you'd assume just looking at, like you said, the cast. You said Taylor Swift can sing, but that's just
no, she can't.
Her
Taylor
song was
Swift-
garbage.
Taylor
Her
Swift
song was garbage.
is not a good singer. She
Going
is
back to
not
what
a
you
good
said
singer.
about Cobra Kai, Kevin, about how it was like they had like one rehearsal scene and then one take. That's how this movie felt all the way through, minus some of the choreography, because that would take at least like 2 or 3 takes. And that's another thing, when you're on stage and you have like musical numbers where everyone's dancing and doing all these impressive things, like on stage, there's one take. You get it or you don't. And if you get it, it's like, that was impressive. They just like totally rocked ass for like 10 minutes straight doing this musical thing. But in a movie, there's a bunch of cuts and it's not convincing at all that each thing is one take. In fact, it's for sure not one take. So it's not impressive. It's also super boring. And it's super weird to watch a bunch of cats just dance around each other for no reason. And one has pants on and one doesn't. And one's wearing shoes and the other one doesn't have those. And I'm like, this movie is just a fucking disaster. Like it's so, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done now. Cats, 0 out of fucking 10.
Who
Worst
directed
movie
it?
ever made in the history of some idiot. That's
Patty
what it said.
Jenkins.
Directed by some idiot. I don't know who.
No, I
It's
thought it
like-
was somebody because they turned around and they did something else that didn't suck.
I think they were a fairly well-known director and well-established.
Like I said, it faded to black and I turned it off immediately, so I didn't see any credits.
Tom Hooper.
What
Okay,
else has Tom
sure.
Hooper done? Because there was something else like right before, or
well,
right
he
after
also
this.
he was also the director of the 2012 Les Mis. No, Cats is what he did. I mean, he did 2 episodes of Dark Materials. His Dark Materials.
that was it.
That show.
No.
He did The Danish Girl in 2015. That was like King's Speech.
Oh,
Directed.
yeah, that movie's
Um,
fantastic.
Well, Les Mis won. You know that
Yeah.
won. So that's
I
why.
wonder, it's
He's
cool. So,
total Brit.
So I could do Cats. I could do it. Just give it to me. I can do it.
yeah, I can fix this.
So I promise you,
Nope.
give me Cats. It'll go down in
No.
history.
And it did.
That's
And
for
he
sure.
was not wrong.
More infamous than famous, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? All right. Well,
There, are you happy? The
I
review
am.
has been given.
Yeah,
thank you.
I feel
Fuck
good about
that
this.
movie.
Feel really good about this.
So
Piece of shit out of 10.
how about we'll give you a break and we're gonna briefly talk about what we've been watching lately, just to kind of catch up on not necessarily anything quote unquote relevant or groundbreaking, but just like what are you kind of watching right now? And Kevin, why don't you go and start us off?
Yeah, there's one show that I meant to talk about before, and I haven't. That's pretty fantastic, and it's on Netflix. It's called Sex Education. And it's
You briefly mentioned that last
did I
week,
mention it
like you
before?
said you were watching it. Yeah.
it stars
Isn't
Gillian
that-
Anderson, and my wife pointed out that if you've ever seen Charlie Bartlett, it's kind of the same idea where there's a teenage kid giving out therapy, but it's sex therapy because his mom's a sex therapist, and so he's been raised with the
Oh.
shit around him. It's a British show, so there's a lot of that British humor in there, and it's fucking hilarious. It's so funny. It's pretty smart too. Like they do a good job with the writing, and it's a lot of fun. There's only 2 seasons so far, but I believe it's already been picked up for another one. But Gillian Anderson, she's the biggest name in it probably. Although the kid is, I can't remember his name, but he's been around. He's a kind of a goofy looking kid, but he's pretty solid in it. And then he's the only other name, which I can't remember. So maybe he's not that big of a name. But yeah, it's a really good show. It's a lot of fun. I think they're hour-long episodes. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but definitely worth watching. And then what I picked up recently, or actually before we started recording, a show on Amazon Prime came out called The
Oh,
Wilds.
Asa Buttersfield. He's the kid from Ender's Game.
Yeah. Way to bring up Ender's Game because everybody watched that.
I couldn't even bear to watch it. Maybe it was fantastic, but there was no way that movie was going to be good.
Yeah.
I
Maybe it was
actually
fantastic.
hadn't read the book yet, so I actually read the book after the movie. So the movie didn't disappoint me until after I read the book.
Okay, yeah, the book's really good.
Yeah,
and
That's
there
how
was
I
no
feel.
way they were making that into a movie.
That's how I feel about Ready Player One. I started reading that, and I haven't finished the book. And I started the movie, and I almost turned it off like 10 minutes in. I was like, dude, this isn't even close. It was crazy how different, at least the beginning was. And then I fell asleep, so I have no idea what happened after that. But
the movie is fun if you take it for like its own little separate like universe.
That's what I've heard.
Nothing to do with the book.
It
Compare.
shouldn't be based on. It should be based on, not adapted from.
Yeah,
like
right.
it's.
Yeah,
They
like I
make
don't know how you
terrible
term it, but yeah,
decisions
which is
on
weird
that
because it's
one.
Spielberg, but it was not good from what I saw. And again, comparing it to the book, I think if I finish the book and then go in and watch it again and just say this is not the same movie, but it's a similar idea, maybe I'll be okay. But
you might not, though. At the same time, so some of
Yeah.
the changes, the fundamental changes they make to the characters are like terrible.
Yeah,
what they
it's
do
really bizarre.
to Artemis is pretty fucked up.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Yeah, I've got to finish the book. I'm only a third of the way through the book, I think. So I've got to get through there. And then, but yeah, so what I was watching on Amazon Prime is a show called The Wilds. It's a really short, I think 8 or 10 episodes. And it got a lot of comparisons to Lost, although I wouldn't really compare it to Lost, but it's essentially this group of teenage girls get stranded on an island.
The wife wanted to watch that with me.
It was
second week in a row you watch shows with teenage girls in it, Kevin.
Yeah, well, duh. But like it's not bad, but it's not really good. It's an interesting idea, and they don't fuck it up as bad as there was another show called Island or The Island. I can't remember. That was fucking horrendous. Like that was awful. The acting was bad, all that. But this one's okay. The acting's decent. The plot is at least interesting. There's a little bit of a mystery going on and some other stuff. So essentially, these girls end up on an island. They were going away for some. I don't know if it was a counseling trip or what. They were all going to this summer camp to better themselves, and their plane crashes. And then you ultimately find out that there's people watching them and all this stuff going on. So it's a real trip. It's done well enough. The little revelation at the end of the first season that feeds into the second season, I don't know if I care for, but it's interesting. They kick it off. You know, the way it starts off is it does the same thing that Lost kind of did, where timelines kind of bounce back and forth. And what you find out is that the scenes instead of being from the past, they're from the future. You see that the girls are being questioned after they've got off the island, and then it flashes back to them on the island. And so there's some stuff happening there too. I don't want to give too much away if anybody wants to watch it. It wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad. It was bad. If you said your wife wanted to watch it, you probably won't kill yourself if you sit down and watch it, but you probably won't love it either. But it's definitely it's better than.
Was the plane crash part of the therapy that they signed up for?
Yes.
See how they work together as a group?
Basically.
Okay.
Now you just ruined it for everybody. Oh, by the way, spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. Not great, but again, not bad. The acting is decent. So that was the one thing that Island just did not land, is the acting was fucking terrible. The directing was terrible. Like it was just bad. Where this one is at least in those regards isn't that bad. And then the last thing I've been watching
isn't that bad.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we're in Corona television, right? So at some point you start to run out of things that are genuinely good to watch.
Yeah, that years from now, it's like, did you see this show? Yeah, but it was during.
That was during the Corona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like not really, but like it was on.
Yeah.
You
It's like
saw
judging
Gilmore
something on the
Girls?
Terminator, the
Corona,
Transformer
dude.
scale.
Yeah. I watched all of the internet. So then I watched. Yeah. And so the other thing that I've been watching on CBS All Access is The Stand, the new version of The Stand by Stephen King.
Is it good?
It's decent. It helps that it's been a long time since I've read the book. I've read it a couple of times, but it's really been a long time. So the changes that they've made to the story don't bother me as much as I think they would if I had just read The Stand.
Did
There's
you
a couple
see
of
the old
characters.
one, the old miniseries?
Yeah, but again, that was a long time ago too. And that one was not as good because that was on regular television. So they had limitations. This one is on streaming. So even though it's CBS All Access, they're not limited by the same rating system as television. So it's definitely a mature show. The acting is solid. I think not all of their castings are great compared to what's in the book. But they cast Alexander Skarsgård as the bad guy, as Randall Flagg, and he's pretty perfect for the part, I think, especially if you read the book. But it's good so far. So they're doing weekly releases of the episodes. So right now we're on episode 4, and I think there's 8 or 10 episodes. So there's still a ways to go. So it'll be interesting, but it's well made, if nothing else. And yeah, I'll have to see before I can give like a final verdict. There's definitely things that I wish were a little more true to the story or to the book. And the way they bounce around with the timeline is a little confusing for people that have read the book. I actually think it might be less confusing if you've never read the book, because when you think about the book, it's in chronological order from beginning to end. You have the event and then everything that happens, and then it goes to the end. Whereas this one, it immediately introduces some characters and then goes to their backstories. And it's a little confusing, but otherwise it's pretty good. And that might be all
Cool.
I have fucking watched. Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah. So
Yeah,
nice.
I'm a little on the it's not watching anything mind blowing recently, but not watching anything that makes me want to kill myself either.
Well,
That
that's
makes
always
one
good.
of us.
Yeah. Is anybody is Sam home? Is she gonna be with you tonight? She'll be
Yeah,
able to...
I
Did you take away your shoelaces?
She moved out in the middle
she
of
kept
it.
she kept coming down to check on me, like to make sure I was okay. Like she would actually come down and like hang out with me for a few minutes, and then she'd go back upstairs and then come back down. She braided my hair during the middle of the movie because it just it's a nice feeling, and I needed something because it was.
I thought she'd call down and say, "Is it paused? Did you pause it? I'm not coming down till you paused it."
Oh no, she had to witness a few scenes of it, especially the best scene of the movie. I forgot to talk about this one. Let's talk about it real quick. At the end of the movie, when Judi Dench looks directly at the camera and starts talking to the audience about how cats and people aren't so different. It's super fucking disturbing because she's like staring into your soul in this fucking lion makeup, and you're just like. Like she was there for that, and she was like, "What's happening?" And I was like, "I couldn't tell you." So, because this is bad. That was a good one. I remember that. That was a good part.
That's something you guys can share forever. Now I just know, for Christmas next year, I gotta get you something cats themed.
Just get him a cat's bodysuit, like cat pajamas.
You're gonna get me something that ends up in the garbage then, because you're gonna get me firewood. Essentially, is what you're gonna be getting me.
I'll send you a Christmas gram from somebody that's dressed up from one of the characters from Cats. So those come sing you a song.
We're gonna hire a whole little acting troupe to show up. And so one night, you and Sam will be out, and all of a sudden there'll just be a number from Cats going on around you.
Before next Christmas, I'm pretty confident the rest of you will have seen this movie, and then you won't do this because you'll understand.
Are you though?
I'm very confident. I've been messing around this whole time with these games, trying to make you guys feel good.
He's playing the long con.
I'm gonna say, yeah, it's a long hustle, man. Playing that long game. Well,
now you know the cost.
Now that David's in the mix, he's all fucked up. Fucks up the algorithm.
He's safe at the moment.
For
Like
the time
like
being.
if you like if everyone lost or whatever, like I'd give him like witless protection or something like that. Something way better than cats.
What if we never play a game again? What then?
I'll just quit the show. Because that's bullshit.
All righty, sounds good. Pete, you been watching anything worth talking about? I mean,
no, not really. The one thing we've really watched recently was just Cobra Kai. That's what we just backed up to. We just finished that the other day.
That's
we
it.
Are
really?
Gonna,
you haven't watched anything else that's worth talking
not really.
about?
We talked about it last week. The couple of things I did, I threw it in there. Like we just, the oldest through her friends discovered Glee, so we watched all of Glee.
First season was
watched,
okay. I remember.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's we have decided we're gonna after talking to a couple people just about it for like ratings for the kids and whatnot. We're gonna watch Schitt's Creek.
Oh,
good.
Yeah, no, that's probably fine. How old are your kids?
It's a good one.
Yeah, 13 and 8. And Stella, half the time when we're watching stuff like that, she buries herself on the iPad.
It's just language. That's really the only thing in that.
Yeah.
See, I don't for self, I don't really edit for language. I just worry about like the question I ask. I'm like, it's not a half an hour worth of blowjob innuendo, right? And if it's not that, then like occasional stuff is fine. Like she's watched every episode of Friends. She's watched all of Glee, which in going back and watching Glee, there's a lot of sex talk in that show.
Yeah, I would
way
say
more than I remember. Like
Schitt's Creek, as far as innuendo goes, and Friends are probably on the same level. Like there's not much to
I would.
Yeah,
we're good then. Yeah,
and it's
Places.
just language. And understanding. I mean, some of the stuff is probably going to fly over her head, but but
there's so much even in Glee, so much flew over her head. I could tell just by like something would say, and I'd look over at her, and she's just like, I'm like, okay, cool. You did not get that joke. Sweet.
Well, most of the audience did after season 2. So.
But then, like Kevin and I have talked about, I just got to kind of find a scheduled day to do it. We talked about doing one of those things we talked about a long time ago in the early days of the show, and watching an episode of Lost a week, and then just having a quick.
I'd be super fucking down for that. I haven't watched Lost in a few years now. So
and the idea behind it is that, especially if you got into it, is that he's never seen it, so it would be Pete. Never watched Lost, so the idea of you and me potentially sitting there and like being able to ask questions, knowing everything that happens throughout the show, would make it interesting to see through a different lens of somebody that's never seen it before.
Yeah, just like, and that's why we talked about doing it just like 1, maybe 2 episodes a week, so it retains that kind of water cooler esque feel that it had when it was first broadcast.
For sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, David?
I just did that with my daughter, like at the beginning of this. We finished it at the beginning of this. We started a couple years ago, but it was really fun to watch it with someone. And being as she was born after the show, like she didn't have any of the like previous hype or anything. I just kind of like turned it on one day and she was like, "What are we watching?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's the show." We get a little ways in and she was like, "Okay." And like 4 episodes in and she's just like salivating, like she wants more. And then the best would be you'd get to an end of the season and she'd be like, "Next one." And I'd be like, "No, we'll watch it tomorrow." She's like, "No, I want to watch it now." But I'd be like, "Girl, we had to wait like a year for this shit. Wait overnight.
What the fuck is in the hatch?"
Yeah.
But it's fun when someone has no idea. Like,
I can imagine.
Things.
Yeah.
I just remember there were like the last episode was polarizing. That's the only thing I remember.
Not really
about the
not
show.
for me.
That I was told that like people were, like the general consensus in the the media and the reviews at the time was
that's
that
because half of them didn't understand what actually happened.
Yeah,
that's precisely it. I did
a million articles like they were dead the whole time. It's like they weren't. They weren't. Like they explicitly said.
And that's not really a spoiler
episode,
because even before that, like I think by season 2 or season 3, Lindelof was out there saying it wasn't.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah,
but
even by season 2 or season 3, the creators were like, "No, they're not dead." Like they explicitly said that before you got to the finale. So, I mean, it was out there that they weren't, and people were just adamant that they were so right that they were dead the whole time. So
I got to be honest. I thought they were dead, and I watched the show, and I just read the last episode wrong. Like, and then when I rewatched it with my daughter, I remember thinking, okay, the ending sucks, but whatever. I live with it. I've watched shows where the ending sucks, and then I got to the end, and I was like, dude, I fucking love that ending. I was like, what the hell happened? And I was like so confused, and then I finally realized, oh, I just didn't understand the ending last time, and that's why I didn't like it.
I mean, it's definitely fucking dense.
Yeah, for sure.
Head trippy, but yeah, I think I was just kind of specifically saying like the division in people who liked it versus didn't. Like a lot of that was because of misinterpretation, and I mean, that show there's so much going on and so many threads. It's like it's easy to get lost in like what's going on, but
yeah, and that's the reason I actually like the idea of watching it with somebody that hasn't seen it before, because they're going to ask questions. And you're just going to say, no, you got to wait. You got to figure out the answer to that question. I can't,
Yeah.
That's what you can't wait for, is just for someone to ask you and for you just to every time say, nope, you got to wait.
But it's like watching something with your kids and watching them enjoy it. Like I want to see somebody see it for the first time and see what questions they have, because it's been 20 years since I've had to watch that show and ask a question,
God, it's been that long. Wow.
It was 2000, I think, is when it first aired.
Yeah, I remember I was in LA when it came out. It was huge. It was.
Is that right? I don't think that's right. I thought it aired in 2007.
No,
I think it
ended in 2010. I think it's like final year was like.
Oh, so maybe it was 2004 that it came out then.
Yeah, it is sometime, because I was in
maybe 04 sounds
2004,
right. Yeah.
04 to 10.
Yeah, 4 sound. I was like, it wasn't 2000.
So
yeah. I just remember we moved into my house in 2008, and it was like blowing my mind when we were rewatching it that these final episodes I'd watched in this house, because I was like, that can't possibly be one of those kind of things. So that's why I specifically knew it was 2010. My favorite thing to do when I'm watching something like this is to give total bullshit spoilers, fuck with people, right? But then you very rarely throw in something that's real. And then when it happens, they're really mad at you. It's fun.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Like Kate is Jack's daughter.
Right? Like, and then you get to the end, it's like, I thought you said Kate was Jack's daughter. I don't remember saying that. Like, you must have heard me wrong. My kid.
All right. Well, so I forgot what we were talking about. So as far as what I've been watching lately, catching up on, the only thing I think really of note is me and the wife are watching The Crown.
Yeah,
just it's been getting a lot of
awesome.
a lot of attention lately. So we started watching that. So far, it's pretty good. It's interesting seeing.
What season are you on?
The first. Yeah, we're still in the first season.
First season. I think I'm trying to remember. I think the first season is when John Lithgow shows up as Winston Churchill.
Yes.
Have you seen that episode?
He's in the whole season. He's in multiple episodes.
Okay. There's one episode that focuses on him. When it gets to the end, he is fucking amazing.
Well, yeah, you got nominated for his performance. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but he like even above it's like Meryl Streepish level of like, Jesus Christ, that was amazing. Like performance, it was really good in that. I wanted to see what's the one that when Gary Oldman played him and won the Academy Award.
Darkest Hour.
Yeah,
that's the one that I wanted to watch today until you guys started harping on me about Cats. So I watched Cats instead of the Darkest Hour.
Yeah, we could positively include your life.
And it comes full circle.
Jesus. Yeah, Kevin, you got to post the copies of the text.
Yeah,
chat to Facebook.
You don't have to.
So now, so we're watching The Crown, and then we're also watching the new show. I think it's on Showtime. Your Honor with Bryan Cranston, where he plays a judge. That's a weekly show, so the next episode I think actually comes out tomorrow. But yeah, he plays a judge who his son accidentally kills a kid in a hit and run accident, and the kid that he killed is the son of the head of the mob in that city. I think it's Philadelphia or something like that. So that's all in the trailer. So that's basically the premise, and it's there's a bunch of different character actors that you'd recognize in the show. That, I mean, for the most part, it's pretty good. Some of it kind of have to be like, really, kind of suspend disbelief a little bit. It takes some liberties on some stuff, but it's not so outlandish that it's turning me away from it.
Is there a massive karate fight in the courthouse?
There is
Yeah,
actually.
makes sense. Makes sense.
It's a new trend. It's like asteroids or volcanoes. They're all doing them.
Yeah. So it's a little, again, a little bit, some things are a little too convenient kind of thing, but so far it's been entertaining enough. And and I think I really want to rewatch. I've been watching a lot of clips on YouTube. Sopranos. Me and the wife, I think, are gonna watch that. She's never seen it, so I think I will do that. And then also lately, last couple nights, I've been binge watching Letterkenny. So good,
so good,
so hilarious. So.
I'm glad that you listened to us, because you seemed skeptical. Like when I said it was good, you were like,
"No, I was bought in."
And then Pete said it was good, and you were like, "Well," but I'm glad.
Well, that doesn't hold any weight.
Yeah. I'm just glad that you tried it, because
I should pick it up again. I started it and then I stopped for some reason. I didn't pick
just
it up.
the whole beginning line thing where you just went to town a day ago.
Yeah.
They're just like what? Jesus.
You were picking up stones with your pals the other day.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's like it's a style that I have to still kind of get used to as I'm kind of watching it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just but it's interesting. So it's funny.
So you said you're in season 2, right?
No, I think I'm in season 3 now.
Oh, season 3, they're even better.
Yeah.
Like, so you saw the cold opens at the beginning of the season that were like the alphabet alliteration. Like he goes to the entire alphabet, alliterating every sentence.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to double check. I watch it late at night, so a couple I've fallen asleep during and then had to restart the next time.
Okay,
you'd remember. They're pretty fantastic.
They're absolutely amazing.
The latest one, he's trying to get a stud for his dog.
Oh yeah, you're because then you'll be meeting Rosie. So I think you're in season 2.
late season 2, early season 3, whatever. But yeah, it's been entertaining so far. That's what phone call. She said that she was pregnant, and he's like, "Oh,
yeah, Tannis."
Oh, yeah. The 3 women all show up at the same time. He's all, yeah. So.
Oh.
So yeah. So that's what I've been watching. And David, new to show, do you have anything that is worth watching that we haven't mentioned?
I don't know about worth watching, but we've been watching a show on Starz called The Rook. It's based on a book.
About a crook.
I'll get to that part.
You did better than cats right there. Good job rhyming.
We kind of fell into a cult documentary rabbit hole.
Did you watch the NXIVM one?
So we watched both of the NXIVM ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Vow, which was on HBO, which was very good.
Yeah, that was
but
good.
I thought like a little tame. And then on Starz, they had the other one, which is Seduced, which is fantastic. But you kind of need to watch the first one kind of for a base, but it goes into really fairly horrific detail of the shit that goes down.
Right.
What are these? What are you talking about?
There was a cult that started off like as a self-help group. And then come to find out some of these people who've been in it for a long time, they realize they're in a sex cult. And their guru has been slowly weeding off the women and got them formed into these master-slave relationships. And basically, and then they take
sign up or.
Yeah, you can probably. They're still active. You're welcome.
That's how you wind up watching 2 hours of
this
celebrity.
guy's window.
We'll leave the number at the end of the episode.
Yeah. So what
www.
Well,
the only
the-
thing, they only want women though, so unfortunately neither of you currently meet those
Hey.
Well,
standards.
thi-
I'll just
This
shave my
one-
beard and I'm good. I got the long hair.
Yeah, this one rose to
You want to be the woman.
it rose to fame though because like one of the girls from Supernatural, no, sorry, Smallville.
No, Smallville.
Yeah, Chloe from Smallville like was one of the
Oh,
ultimately became
Oh,
one of the
I heard
leaders
about
of the
her, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's a trip.
She
Oh,
was
yeah.
pretty much the lead female trafficking
Mhm.
these women.
She was
sending
the
them to
blonde.
This
What?
nice bed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
I heard
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, I didn't read the details of it, but I remember that.
Also, one of
Kerfuffle.
the like blonde ground crew chick from
so did Apple
Battlestar
at this
Galactica.
point. Yeah, Apple finally did it
I don't
this
even
evening.
remember what that lady's character's name.
Yeah, I can't
but she
remember.
was also in that same tier with the chick from Smallville. So they had multiple like semi-established Hollywood types
Yeah.
in the cult recruiting people.
Wow.
Fucking crazy, dude.
It was crazy. So we watched that, and it forced us to get stars. And we tried to do the cram all the stars we could into the week trial, but they know you can't do that. So now I'm paying for this month of stars. But
I gotta get you for at least one, right?
That's right. That's right. Well,
Yeah, they're like, we got him. We got him. He
We
tried
got
to do
him.
it when
He's
we
in.
told him no. So then he did the whole month. We got him for a month.
yeah.
So
So
we tried
got,
to cancel, and then we said there's an error on our side.
No,
Try again
sorry.
later.
Can't do it now. I'm
Back to
stuck for
you.
life. Well, my wife wants to finish the Outlander series, which is like
My wife enjoyed
yeah.
that one as well.
yeah,
They're,
it's
they're
like,
doing
you know,
a
50
documentary
Shades
from
of
the
Highlander.
two of the guys from Outlander.
50 Shades of Highlander, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that's ultimately what's slowing us down because she had budgeted, I think, for like 8 episodes and was like, I'm almost done, and then was like, oh shit, there's 12 episodes.
And there's another season coming out.
Yeah.
Oh well, we'll get it that month again.
You know,
too.
why have you
So-
watched episode 7 6 times?
Yeah. So now we're stuck with stars. So we're gonna explore what they have to offer. So I came across this show called The Rook. I had read the book. My wife had read the book. I know a couple other friends who'd read the book, and so I was like, shit, let's watch the show. It's got what's her name, Jolie Richardson. Did you guys see the show The Path? It was on Hulu. Also about cults.
A long time ago, yeah.
In that there was a really skinny woman who was like always like couldn't get away from the cult leader. Like those two were always getting at each, like they were always getting together. Anyway, she plays like the lead in this show as well. And then Olivia Munn is in it.
Huh.
And so it was okay. The book was far superior. They just very Ready Player One. They just kind of got all the names of the characters and then just took that rest of the book and threw it away and wrote whatever they wanted. Like down to the fundamentals. Like one of the characters that is like a bad character in this show ends up being like the love interest, and you're like, what the fuck? Why did they make that decision? Taking the book out of it and not any of that bias, it still wasn't a terribly great show. So I can't really recommend it, but I can tell everyone that they don't need to watch it. But
Don't
I
get
can
stars.
say The Vow on HBO Max and Seduced on Stars if you're into cult documentaries.
The Vow.
Yeah, the Vow's a trip. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Just what these people went through and what they went through to get out. Is
The great thing about The Vow is you watch it, and over the course of the show, you can see how these people got suckered into this.
Yeah.
In Seduce, they don't give you all that background, so you're like, how did these dumb idiots get like roped into being slaves? Like, what morons? But if you watch the Vow, you can really see step by step how you can go, okay, I'd still be in. Okay, I mean, I guess I'd still be in. And until they finally go.
Well, yeah,
nope,
but if you
nope, that's a
if,
step too far.
if you watch The Vow too, you're like, yeah, this guy was actually kind of effective as a self-help guy. Like you can really see, like Dave said, like why people got into it, because he was offering solutions and helping people in ways that they weren't being helped. Like he was actually helping people, and then he just turned out to be a creepy motherfucker too. Like It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
he was helping people because it got him a whole lot of
Mhm.
tail that he didn't have to share with anybody else, and he could shape the women. He would starve them.
Mhm.
They were all getting like 500 calories a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There was sleep deprivation. I mean, it's the whole thing. It's really worth watching. It's very, very interesting.
So does he like kind of tell you how to do that?
Is it a manual?
Pretty much. If you watch
Is it
both
like
of
a
these
step
videos,
by step sort
Yeah,
of like?
yeah.
there's
so,
a little
like,
fill
yeah.
in the blank that you have to do on your own.
Yeah,
There's a-
well,
there's-
keyboard
there's a
level.
master.
sex cult. You
Yeah,
should
there's a
have to
master
work
class
for
for it. Yeah, just sign up for master
You
class.
mail
but,
away
yeah.
for the DVD, and if you subscribe, you get the next DVD once every week. Kind of gives you more tips and tricks.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. All right.
This guy's followers are still going out when he orders them to and dancing outside his prison cell window for him.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
like to this
Yeah, it
day,
is
they're
crazy.
still pulling that shit.
Wow.
Oh,
Those who aren't in jail.
Sure.
oh, fair. That's fair. All righty. Well, Alex, is there anything that you can recall that you're watching before? I know what you did not watch today. I know what you did watch today, but leading up to today, is there anything that you've been watching? I know you've been playing your games a lot.
Yeah.
But are you getting anything in between that? Anything else for your eyes to watch?
Nope. It's a lot of YouTube and games, if I'm being totally honest.
YouTube? What do you watch on YouTube?
Oh, just a plethora of things. Pitch meetings and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
metal guitarist videos and
I've been watching some of those
video
lately, too.
game stuff. Like just whatever suits me. You know how the algorithm works. You click on
Yeah.
one thing, you get 10 more, and then you fall down a rabbit hole for a while, then you get bored
Yeah.
and go to something else. I mean,
What
It's
what
just-
games have you been playing?
nothing like that. Yeah, we've been watching the state of our nation for the last few days. That's been the most interesting
Yeah,
thing
that's-
on this week.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
How so?
I don't know. I think America might have jumped the shark this week.
Oh my goodness.
that
It's a little
whole
preposterous.
capital thing they pulled was a little preposterous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just
Yeah.
out of control.
Yeah, I'm going to talk
There's
to the
been some
producers.
great memes though. There's been some great memes on
Yeah.
some.
Oh, man, Twitter is just so glorious for this.
Yeah.
and TikTok
So-
now too.
So I just saw while we were talking that Amazon pulled the backing for Parler. So the whole Parler app is dead too.
Perfect.
The actual app is completely dead.
Yeah, because Google already took it off their store.
Yeah,
But
so
I
did
guess
Apple.
now the app is just done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple did now too.
Yeah, well, they could hardly ban Donald Trump because as soon as they did, then all the rednecks would leave and then
Yeah, so-
their platform would be dead anyways. So
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
kind of screwed no matter what.
Yeah, so Amazon pulled that. So Parler's dead. So
Good. But yeah, I haven't watched anything. Just been playing games. I planned on watching a few things today. Actually, I woke up pretty early. For me, anyway, it was like
you
11.
woke up in good spirits and
And-
just fucking
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm gonna watch Dark. I actually thought I was like, I'm gonna watch Darkest Hour today. I love Gary Oldman. He's literally my favorite actor, and I haven't seen that for some reason, even though I own it. I was like, I'm gonna watch that today. It's gonna be fucking great. And then I saw your guys' texts, and I was just like, God damn it! Like, fine, I'll just get this over with. Like, and then it just ruined my whole day, and I couldn't watch anything else. Mostly because I had to keep starting and stopping it, and that was it. I was gonna watch Darkest Hour, maybe a couple other things today, like just kind of cram it in before the test. You know what I mean? But
I don't know if you're supposed to
Nope.
make us feel bad or make us happy. Like I'm not
No,
sure what
here's
you're
the
going
thing.
for.
Here's the thing. What, Alex, I love
Yes.
you. I love you
I
like
love
a
you.
brother.
I love you too. I love your beard.
But the way you described your day and what that text thread did to you, or what the outcome was, is so satisfying. Because part of it is, I'm like, in my mind, not because I want to, it's just like maybe just the influence behind it is just like, how can I make this guy do this and fucking ruin his day just because I want him to watch this movie? That's all I want. That's all I want to do. How can I make him feel like an asshole if he doesn't do it? Oh, but I'm sorry.
It wasn't even that I felt like an asshole, because I did try. And I just couldn't bear it. Like I gave it an honest try, and I was like, I can't fucking look at this anymore.
I was totally fine with the thought of watching like a half an hour each time and just commenting.
I know. Well, you sent that Letterkenny fucking gif. And I was just like, you got me.
Like, what was the gif?
It was just a clip of Wayne like sitting in his chair saying like, "Oh, that's clever," or something like that. It wouldn't have even mattered what it said. It was just a Letterkenny gif, and I was like, "Son of a bitch," because Wayne is like the most honorable dude in the world. And I was like, I can't.
I almost put one that was like that, but that said pitter patter then.
Yeah, pitter patter. Let's get at her. Oh man. Oh, by the way, Pete, if you don't name this episode Cobra Cats, just take this show off the air.
Kevin, remember that.
I'm sure I won't.
But
cats with a K though. No, I guess it would have to be Cobra Cats.
It still has to be cats. I was gonna make the same joke, but then I was like, I don't know, it doesn't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
So,
but I watched nothing.
Well, no, if Cats was that bad, we could spell it K-A-T, and I'll put a Z at the end too, to really just
Cats
horrible it out.
Do whatever you want.
It's even worse.
I didn't even know you named them. I honestly I have to look at the titles. I have no idea what the titles are.
I thought Pete did it. Does Pete not do it?
I assume so.
It's Kevin. Every now and then we collaborate on it if it's slightly different. Yeah, Kevin does that. He writes the synopsis way better than I do with some length.
There's synopsises too? Shit, I gotta really look at that.
Yeah, you don't even have to like listen to the shows. Just read it back and be like, yeah, I totally listened to the episode last week where we talked about the universe.
And then Opie said, I'm like, oh wait, me. I don't. Then I
said Cliff Notes. It's like 4 sentences.
That's true.
We talked about this. Pete's an asshole. We did this. Blah blah blah. Like that's pretty much like the formula.
Pretty soon it's just bullet points. It's like an agenda.
The first bullet point is always DC Universe.
Yeah.
It just turned
DC
into
Universe.
Yeah.
.y question mark.
Subtle jabs at Solo.
Subtle. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing actually. Me and the family started going down Star Wars path. So we watched the first 2 episodes. And then now we're going to try to go chronologically. So like, or did I already talk about this, or is this before the show?
This was before the show.
Pre-show.
Yeah. So but yeah, doing the Clone Wars series right now. So we're in a couple episodes in. You guys were saying there's online there's a good list to show on how to
you can also just watch it in order, but yeah, you can do it either way, really.
Well, that's a lot, so whatever will save some time and make more sense, I'll look at that.
I mean, it won't save any time. You're still
to say you still watch all the episodes.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a different order.
I'm down for that. We're watching everything out of different order right now anyway, so
yeah, it's like it starts with 216, then 116, then 301, then 303, then 101, then 102. So it's kind of a little bit all over.
What was that again? Hold on, say it again.
Just go to StarWars.com. Literally, just type in Clone Wars search
text you
order.
each time. We just finished 303. Now what?
What's next?
All right.
And then every time he does, just send him the whole list again.
Yeah. Wait. Which one was this? So we reached the end of what we were planning on talking about. Unless I missed anything. And Pete,
did anyone make any headway on their like spinny wheel?
Oh no, that's what we have to do.
That's something we can do right now.
There we go.
Sure.
No Nightmare on Elm Street just yet?
No,
not yet.
Like maybe after that was going to be like, oh, maybe I'll watch Darkest Hour and then the first Nightmare movie today. Like that's on the table.
I remember the first one being a good movie. I haven't seen it.
It is. The first
and
one
that's
was a
why
good
I figured it'd be okay, because I'm pretty sure, I'm very confident actually that Darkest Hour is going to be fantastic. And then I was like, so I'll watch that, and then it'll change up the pace, but it'll still be a good movie. And then my life was ruined.
See, I'm trying to find a place where I can stream all the Roger Moore Bond movies from something I'm already subscribed to.
Do you not have the collection, like the Bond 50 collection or whatever?
I'm sure it's pretty expensive.
I did, and like I looked at it
It's
I mean,
99
no,
for
actually,
all of
the-
them.
Well, the Roger Moores alone are $30, and I'm like, I like them, but I don't love them enough that I know if I want to spend.
I would say like I
No.
got the on 50 collection. They have it on like Amazon Fire deals like all the time,
Okay,
like the DVD or the Blu-ray set, and I got it for pretty cheap. I think it might have been on Black Friday, but it was pretty inexpensive. So just keep.
There's also websites out there where people buy these box sets and they don't want the digital code, so they sell the digital code because all they want
no
is the
shit.
actual physical. So you can
Oh, is that
buy
a thing?
it's a thing. I've done it quite a few times.
That's cool.
My daughter loves all the Fast and the Furious movies, and so we
That's on
sit
here.
down and we watch them and we laugh and we have a great damn time. So the last one came out and I didn't want the disc, I just want the download. So I think I paid like $7 for it.
That's not bad.
It was at full price, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess
Nice.
I got the wheel here. I'm just looking on here. What's all on here?
If I get Fast and the Furious, I already own all those, so I'm okay
Perfect.
with that.
Yeah.
Is that on there? Fast and Furious?
well, now
Yeah.
with Fast and Furious, that includes Hobbs and Shaw, right?
That, I mean,
Oh,
anything
I don't
within
own that
franchise.
one. Oh, that one's rough.
If it's part of the franchise. All right. Here we go.
Makes for great radio, right? I'll just
Yeah.
staring at it.
Can't. Sorry. It's there. We go.
Up a little higher.
I also
Spin again.
Then
I'll have
again.
to
He
spin
got
that
he got
again.
nightmares, so
Yeah.
spin it again. Back up.
There we go.
Back up, back up, back up. Up. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's mine.
That Terminator.
Oh my God. That's his.
Ah.
So you guys spin
If,
again?
Yeah.
if,
That's
if,
funny,
dude,
man.
if this picks the same thing as like what Pete has, I'm saying.
If it picks Roger Moore, new app.
Oh,
Hobbit.
the Hobbit.
God, that's
That's-
honestly quite painful for me.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
I loved the Lord of the Rings movies, but I only made it through the first two Hobbits.
Well, now you get to watch
I
all
never
three.
watched the
You
third
didn't
one.
see Battle of Five Armies?
Oh no, I wanted to kill myself halfway through whatever the second one's called.
Yeah, they're rough. They're
Desolation
rough
of Smog.
After
Why? What about them don't you like?
So
Watching
what I
them.
really liked about
why don't we let him watch them first,
Yeah.
and then
And then,
we
yeah.
can talk about
That's
I
all
haven't
I'll
seen
ask
the
you
last
That's a good
one.
point. That's probably a good idea.
That's how this
what I
works,
really liked
Pete.
about the original trilogy, or the Lord of the Rings trilogy, not really trilogy, but anyways, that trilogy was, I thought he took the books, which I didn't really care for because I thought they were too long-winded, and it kind of cut the shit out and made like a tight set of
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
With The Hobbit, he kind of took the shit and just like shoved it in there. And
yeah,
like,
it was a cash grab. That's my honestly. I loved them, but that part bugged the shit out of me because The Hobbit was the first like kind of grown up book, if you will, I read, even though it was a kid's book, that I fell in love with it, and that's what brought me into D&D and fantasy and everything, all through that, like, and so it. When I watched them, I had like really high hopes, and then they just added so much.
yeah, it's just so. I look for. I haven't seen any of them since I saw them originally in the theater, so I look forward to the torture. Oh man. I couldn't get through that third one. I watched like 15 minutes of it and
Now,
just walked away.
Is this?
See those three? I need the extended edition.
I was gonna say, is this the extended edition?
Yeah,
I'll
whatever's
probably watch the
available.
extended edition
I
voluntarily.
got Terminator, so I'm not looking forward to a lot of it. There's a lot of it. I'm not.
You have two really great movies,
A ton of shit, and
three
then a
really
decent
kind of
movie.
bad ones, and then a decent one.
Which one was the decent one?
Dark Fate.
Hmm.
I never.
Oh,
did
let's not
see
start
it.
this again.
You and I do definitely disagree on that, sir. It's not. It doesn't crescendo.
Once
It's like
you watch Terminator Genesis and then follow it by watching Dark Fate, you'll realize how okay Dark Fate actually is. Because
How okay.
Genesis is a fucking
well.
pile.
Didn't Dark Fate technically supposed to erase something?
It erased everything
Genesis,
besides 1 and 2.
So that's why I thought I would do. I'd watch 1, 2, and then Dark Fate, and then watch the other ones after that, as far as like not being canon.
As an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
because Dark
Either
Fate,
way.
man.
I remember watching 3 and 4. I don't think I saw 5.
Genesis.
Is that Genesis? Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
3
at
is
that point I'd
Rise.
given up.
That's with the female one.
That's the one that ends in the bunker with the explosion.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah, like they can't stop Judgment Day, etc.
Yeah.
Where Arnold Schwarzenegger somehow looked older in that than he did in the last one.
he kind of did, didn't he?
It was just like, come on, dude,
Yeah.
hang it up. There's no shame. It's like, where'd they find that robot? It's like, fuck, there's one in the back, just plugged in this whole time. Nobody saw him. He's just been sitting there aging. Well, get him out there.
Like the original.
Yeah,
he's the prototype T800.
Yeah, he was somebody's like, unopened toy. They're like, oh no, mitten box. All right,
I follow Arnold on Twitter, and I like to think that he's like the original, who's just kind of like a little insane now, and he lives in a house with like horses and thinks that this is normal human behavior, right? Because the dude, like, literally, like, he's got ponies instead of dogs. You're like, okay, you're weird, dude.
I mean, he's Arnold, man. He
probably
walks them just like people walk dogs. He's strong enough to hold them.
If he could.
This is my lap pony.
Yeah.
What, Pete? Do you have a something's got to go or some type of game like that?
Well, I gotta
put something together.
Kind of, yeah. I got 4 little things. So in a modified way of something's got to go. I got a gun to your head. You have to erase one of these 2 from existence.
Gun to my head. You had to erase.
Yeah, from existence, like they never existed, right? Or so like for instance, if you had to, would you rather just erase from existence?
Wait, are we playing now?
Well, no, yeah, sure. Let's get into it. I only got 4.
Do we each get one, or are we all answering all 4?
Oh, just no, all answering 4. Yeah, because it's a nice little discussion game. These are just I just came up with these before the show here, but
why don't we all agree on the same one like immediately? It's like, okay,
yeah, it's like done. Okay, cool, next.
That's cool.
So like for instance, like the one we talked about at the beginning was like, would you get rid of Al Pacino or Robert De Niro? One
Just
of them
like
has to go. Yeah, or the earth ends. Time ceases to exist.
Or the earth ends.
That's what
AKA Cats plays endlessly.
Then I guess the gun to my head doesn't really fucking matter at that point.
It's just a much bigger gun than previously.
Yeah, I guess. Jeez.
Pacino goes away for me.
I don't know. My instinct is to lose De Niro, but like he's got some really, really iconic roles. But the upside would be like you wouldn't have to watch any of his comedy stuff. So,
he's only got a few comedy stuffs. Most of his stuff is pretty
terrible. But I can't. There's like, I mean, Pacino's got some great stuff, but I think I'd have to lose Pacino still.
Yeah,
I would have to lose De Niro. I would say.
Are you just saying that to be different?
No, I'm thinking of like, I'm thinking of Dog Day Afternoon, Godfather, Serpico, Scarface. Even Carlito's Way, even Scent of a Woman, just overall. Whereas I love De Niro, but it's like Goodfellas is tough. That's a tough one.
But I mean, you're still losing Godfather with De Niro too,
right?
So
true, but I think as far as like the body of work that he did, the vast majority is with the same director, with Scorsese. I'm thinking Scorsese would just find somebody else that he made De Niro.
It's a valid argument.
So that's why Pacino, young Pacino is tough to beat.
That's true.
I don't know. Taxi Driver and Raging Bull is a pretty hard combo.
I gotta see Taxi Driver again. It's been a long time since I saw it. I remember when I first saw it too, I wasn't that impressed, but I'd be curious to watch it again just to see why I might have thought that.
It's still kind of disturbing. That's what I watched recently.
Can't believe you're gonna erase Meet the Parents.
Please and thank
I
you.
mean, it's a good comedy. That's a good one. But then
You know what I will say for comedies for him that was I thought I can't remember the second one too well, but I remember the first one. I thought it was the Analyze This movies.
Yeah,
I thought those were actually pretty damn good.
I remember the first time I saw it. I thought it was funny, but I haven't not want to watch it again. I know the second one wasn't good.
Yeah, I can't remember the second one, but I thought the first one was pretty funny.
I cringed at him pretty hard. I was not a fan.
But I also like Billy Crystal a lot, so that's
that helps.
I did too.
But I want Billy Crystal to have a good partner to work off of. Like De Niro's not it. It's his stuff in that is.
All right, next one. A gun to our head that's going to kill everybody in the world if we don't pick
and
one.
blow up the world and
and give you AIDS. I mentioned the AIDS. It's like AIDS. Well, that's treatable now, isn't it? All right.
Ricky Gervais or Will Ferrell?
This is real easy for me.
One has to go.
One has to go. Will Ferrell.
This. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Will Ferrell.
See, I can't get rid of Elf.
I'd probably agree.
I can't get rid of Elf, man. It's like it's the
Elf is
one thing
great, but
that I'd have to hold on to. Like I love Ricky Gervais, but I like Elf too much.
Yeah, this is what's so easy for me. I detest Ricky Gervais. So like, please.
I found like
Really?
that I liked him a lot more recently. Like back in the day, I was kind of like whatever. But like the more I watch him more recently, I really appreciate his comedy these days, especially.
Oh yeah.
I get that he's got a style and that he's really, really good with it. I just also get that it is not my style.
Yeah, and the same thing could be said about Will Ferrell for the most part.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually
think,
generally like Ricky Gervais more than Will Ferrell, but Elf is like one of my favorite movies ever. So
that's understandable. It's a great Christmas movie. You watched it this year?
Of course.
So good. Have you seen Stranger Than Fiction? His like serious role?
That's
No.
the one.
It's a
Isn't that
fantastic
where
movie.
where Emma Thompson is like writing his script?
She's the author.
I saw part of that. I caught it when
good.
it was on HBO or something. It looked amazing. I just never went back to finish it.
It's the only that I can think of, like his only real serious role. He's not very Will Ferrell-ish at all, because sometimes he can be a little too Will
Everything
Ferrell.
Must Go. He's it's a serious one.
Yeah.
And then the one he just did with Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
The family one?
Yeah.
Like Avalanche or whatever.
I didn't see. I hadn't
That
heard
one's
about that.
kind of
I thought you watched that one and didn't
kind of
like
more
it.
drama comedy. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay.
It's not like a Will Ferrell kind of movie that you would.
It's more grounded in reality. Like he's not over the top Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
I recommend Stranger Than Fiction if you have not seen it though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, that was easy enough.
All right then.
What else you got?
Hopefully this will be a little more challenging. Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Stallone can go.
Goodbye, Stallone,
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
No Rambo, no
choice.
Rocky. Really?
That's
no Rambo,
fine.
no Rocky.
No Terminator, no Predator. I mean, like compare those and immediately. that's an easy
Rhinestone?
answer.
No, over the top is the one
No
I missed the
stop.
most.
No stop, or my mom will shoot.
No.
What about Cobra? No one's mentioned.
I know. I was gonna say no Cobra. No Cobra. What the fuck? No Tango and Cash.
Oh, Tango and Cash.
That's easy for me.
No Demolition Man. Come on. Dread.
We have the new Dread, so we're good about that.
Is that new Dread good? Worth watching?
It's cool. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know
Dude,
if good is the right
no
word. It's cool.
Expendables. No.
That's fine.
No Expendables 2.
That's
3.
also fine.
Don't even think about
Expendables
Expendables 3.
It's getting more fine as you talk.
And
But
I don't
Guardians of the
think Planet
Galaxy.
Hollywood happens. You don't have Planet Hollywood. That doesn't happen.
Oh,
that's
actually,
kinda
that's
okay.
perfect. Thank you, Kevin. If Stallone is gone, then potentially no Guardians Volume 2, which I despise. So that makes it even easier. Goodbye, Stallone.
No, I think Guardians.
I'm also
Volume
not
2
a huge
still
fan
happens,
of Guardians Volume
and
2.
someone just
Thank
says
you.
recast.
It
My
does
friend,
not
it's like
hold-
his favorite one, and I'm like,
No.
I don't get it.
I
It
liked
has
it.
its
I
moments,
liked
but
Guardians
it's
too.
not-
does not hold a candle to the first one.
No,
even
not at all.
It
closely.
does not, but I don't think like
I find it
didn't
to be
hate
far
it.
superior.
But let me explain all the reasons why you are incorrect about this,
Mary
sir.
Poppins, y'all. Like it had a lot.
I
of
laughed
really
at that
fun
part,
moments.
Yeah, that
And-
part was funny.
And Baby Groot dancing at the beginning of the movie,
Yes.
and
Yes.
that was it. that was when it started. I was like, this is gonna be so good. Look at Groot dance. And then right after that, it just took a fucking tumble down the hill, man. I was like, this isn't funny. The story's incoherent. I don't want to talk about this movie. What's your next thing? I already talked about a shit movie today. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, the last one I got, and this is actually aimed clearly at Obi.
What is what?
Aimed
Clearly
directly
at
at you.
Oh, okay.
Sopranos
Pete
or
or Alex?
Always Sunny?
Sopranos or
Oh.
It's Always Sunny.
Well, I know the answer for him. He would get rid of Sonny because Sopranos is his favorite show ever.
Yeah, because you're kind of going comedy versus drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it tricky.
See, I've never seen Sopranos, so that would go away for me
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
because
I
I love
mean-
Always Sunny. But if I'd seen it, that might be different.
That's rough.
He's thinking there.
I'm going to abstain because I actually haven't seen much of either. I
Really?
saw one episode of The Sopranos, like when it was airing originally. It came on, and I was like, I'll fucking watch an episode. Now, granted, it's like 6 seasons in, or however. I mean, pretty deep in. I don't know how many seasons the show ran, but it's in for a ways. It's been running, and I thought it was the most terrible episode of television I had ever seen in my entire life.
Whoa.
And so I never went back to it. And everyone, was still Sopranos. And I'm always like, you guys are fucking nuts. But I've only seen the one episode. It was entirely out of context, but I thought the acting was shit. I thought the storytelling was shit. I thought everything was shit. But this is not an educated opinion. I want everyone to know that. It was one episode.
I've seen
And then,
it.
Sunny, I've tried to watch a few times, and it's just, for whatever reason, too depressing to be funny. Like, because these people are, like,
Horrible.
horrible.
That's what makes it funny, man.
Dumpster baby.
Yeah,
They're
it's
they're just the worst.
Yeah, it's a little too much. I've tried many times, and I've seen some funny clips, and I know they're capable of being really funny. It's just not quite my humor.
That's
They can
understandable.
both go
It
for me.
definitely is an acquired taste. There's no doubt about that.
Yep. So I think if one had to go, I'd probably have to.
Do you want Kevin to go first?
Well, yeah.
I already said I would ditch Sopranos because I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't watched it either. Okay, I thought you had seen it.
Yeah.
No.
I guess I'd probably have to say Sunny. Yeah, let Sunny go.
That's what I figured.
So, yeah, Sopranos is that's tough. Now I feel like it's between Sopranos and Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad, I was gonna say, yeah.
That would be rough. That'd be harder. But I don't know which one I could. I don't know. That would be tough. I don't know. I'd have to watch both of them again to honestly make a decision.
Come back to me in 9 weeks.
Yeah. Talk to you. Yeah. I'll have it ready next week.
Yeah, the way you feel about The Sopranos is the way I feel about The Wire. So
I like The Wire. It's just, and I got it. I really enjoyed it.
Almost on a straw.
But I don't know if I could watch it again. That's a tough one for me to watch again.
Yeah, the Wire was. I actually prefer The Wire to The Sopranos. I enjoyed The Sopranos, but there's something about The Wire that there's a different level, like, grittiness to it that I just dug, and I loved all the little small performances from all the Baltimore natives that they pulled in that were actually fucking one-time drug dealers or runners or just people in the community that they pulled in and had them on screen. And every now and then these fucking people pop back up, and it's kind of cool because it's really just Mary that lives at 213 Dawson Street, and they're like, ooh, we like the look of her and the cut of her jib. You want to be
I don't think
the
you said
show.
that.
Like, that's how they cast so many people in that show.
I like the
which is why for years the
head.
headlines always like star of Wire arrested. It's someone who was in like one episode for like 4 lines, but but it's because they were like already drug dealers and drug addicts that they brought in for authenticity purposes.
Who knew they were preparing for that role their entire life?
That's right.
Can you imagine if like they got nominated for an Emmy, they win, they're like, I was just selling rock.
Yeah.
Y'all was filming me.
They
I'll look
faced
around.
They FaceTime from jail. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Well, what did I do to research my role? I don't know, motherfucker. I got up.
If anyone
I
out
went
there
to work.
Yeah, if anyone out there wants to post bail, I'm available.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously. Man. All right. Was that it? That's all your
Yeah, that's what I came up with there at the beginning. Anybody else got one? That was kind of off the cuff, but yeah.
ugh.
No, that about sums it up for me. Wow.
Oh,
I think Alex's soul was kind of crushed by cats today.
yeah, we broke Alex.
I'm for sure impotent now. Like, there's no doubt.
Who could willingly bring a child into the world after viewing that?
I really can't. Like, there's a chance they might see it, and then I'd just be a horrible parent. So I'm like, good thing it doesn't work anymore.
Have you strangled your cat today?
No, see oh man, I actually, because you talk to your cats because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And she was just sitting on me like while I was watching it because I'm her favorite seat in the house. And she like looked at me at one point, and I was like, "This movie's gonna make me hate you." Like I literally said that to her while I was watching it, and I felt bad about it because she's so cute. But
Does your cat watch TV?
Depends on what's on TV. Actually, Kevin, you'll appreciate this. It was a little while ago now, but I replayed the first Last of Us, and like the first time you load up that game, because really there's like no loading screens that whole game, except at the beginning they have like the spores flying across the screen, and it takes a while the first time it loads up, but that's like it, so it's totally worth it.
What are you talking about? What you're talking about? What?
Stop it! The Last of Us. Stop it!
Video game. You should play it. Give it a shot.
Oh my gosh!
The Last of Us. That's a game.
Wait,
oh my god!
what about?
But when
is this the zombie one?
Not you two. No time for you. Shush. But like when the spores like flew across the screen, she freaked out. She thought they were like real, and she like ran over to the TV, and she was like, "Oh!" It's like
That's awesome.
My cat, I don't know what it is, man. She'll just sit and stare at the screen no matter what's on, just like she's watching.
I wanted her to kind of like wake up a little bit and look at the screen today with cats on to see if she would react, because my cat she's the sweetest cat literally that I've ever met in my entire life to people. She fucking despises other cats. Like, she will kill them if they come near her.
Yeah.
If a person, like any person, someone could be robbing the house and murdering me, and she would walk up and be like, "Pet me." But like if there was like another cat, she would rip its throat out. And I wanted her to kind of see it and just like, maybe they're realistic enough, but the CG was just too shit. So she wasn't convinced. So she just kind of was like, nope, and went back to sleep. I wanted her to freak out though.
But I'd put on a cat video just to see how she was. She would get just closer to the screen. She would just, but totally locked in.
Yeah.
It's like watching reality TV, I guess, for her.
My cat understood that the TV was important and that the people watched it, so she would just sit in front of it.
Yes.
Hey!
She would not watch it, but she would climb up on top of the console table in front of the television and sit there as tall as she could, so that you couldn't see past her.
Of course.
And she'd stare at you the whole time, glaring like, "You're gonna get up and pet me."
Yeah, I'm more important than this.
That's a cat move right there.
So,
total cat move.
so
Thankfully,
that's why I keep my Nerf gun here on the chair.
My console's too skinny, thankfully, and I have the sound bar in front of my TV, so she can't pull that bullshit, thankfully. But she totally would if she could.
That's exactly what I would have. I would just have like a dart gun, just like boop. So
when my cat started doing that, she was fairly old, so I wasn't gonna shoot her.
You might kill her.
Yeah, she was 19 when she passed away last year. So
wow, man. 19.
Wow. She was old.
Oh, good. So I only got maybe 16 more years with mine.
She was like Dame Judi Dench in that movie.
Oh yeah.
See, he must have it, dude. He's still quoting it.
That wasn't a quote.
Reference.
It's gonna be the only thing rolling around in there for about a week.
It is, for sure. I know that because that's how I am. I'm like obsessive about shit. That's how I was with Wonder Woman. I couldn't stop thinking about it until I got it out of my system.
If Alex, if you're going to, do you listen to these episodes just in general? Do you listen generally?
Yeah, I think I've listened to all of them, even the one I wasn't on.
I'm kind of curious if you are still listening by this point, because thinking that the likelihood that Pete uses some music from Cats to just intro the
He
episode.
can't anymore because we kept getting copyright bashed.
But see, I found my way around that by finding remixes that are already violating copyright laws, and Facebook doesn't pick it up as a violation because it doesn't hit the sound algorithm the same
So
way.
I'm just curious if you can even get past.
So to answer your question, if he does that kind of bullshit, no, I won't be listening to this episode.
No, I'm not going to this week. I thought about it, and I was like, eh. It was
We need
already
to make another song.
It's already
We need to
bad
make another
enough
song for the
for,
show. I don't like the song that we have, or someone else can make one if you feel like it.
I will continue to use yours until you write something else.
Okay,
Yeah, it's on
that's
you.
a good
I'll
excuse
make
to
one.
make me
Hey,
make music.
So did you get any inspiration today by chance?
Memories.
Any inspiration to write new music?
His next song is just gonna be the sound of a cat dying.
Yeah, just strangling a cat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it. I want to thank everybody that downloaded and listening. Thank you so much for doing so.
Suckers.
Watching this again. Thanks for watching, I guess. I want to thank David for being on and contributing. And you're welcome. And,
Kevin,
and
just
you
wave.
got your Hobbit assignment.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
Not excited
Yeah,
about that.
Honestly, it's better than some of the stuff we got.
we should probably come up with.
I'll trade you. I'll watch the Hobbits, and you can
I would
watch the 7
absolutely
Roger
trade
Moore
you.
Bond films.
Yeah, I would trade you for Nightmare in a Minute.
I would trade you, absolutely, but we're not doing that. Well, we should
This is
probably have like a
bullshit.
time frame. Like we have to complete this by a certain point, or else it's
Oh,
like, 2021. I'm like, I'm
Why don't we-
halfway through the third one, guys.
Why don't we like chip away and do like a movie a week? Because most of these have multiple movies.
a movie a week?
So like we all
That's
do
fair.
the
I
first
can
movie
probably
next
find
week.
a way to do it. I could
And then if
I
you
can
run
watch
out, you have to spin
Terminator.
again.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Always something for people to talk about.
Yeah.
all right.
So you got to watch the first movie of whatever you
Well,
got. You're in good hands. You got Terminator
Well,
1.
You have to watch Terminator. Like,
I
what are
get,
you
yeah,
complaining
Terminator's
about?
not bad. Terminator 2 obviously is good. 3, I'm just thinking about if I'm keeping up with you, Alex. I'm just thinking because 4 is where it really turns for you. And
Are you trying to like organize your movies in order so that we both have shit on the same week? Is that
Oh,
what you're
we're
trying-
definitely gonna have shit at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think
I
we're
fondly
all
remember some of those like 4, 5, 6 like Kruger movies because they're not taking themselves seriously anymore. They're
No,
just like
Freddy's
total
dead.
schlock fest.
Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare, but he also has Freddy versus Jason in there, which was just god awful.
I'm super excited for that because that's the only one I've seen, and I was super young and I didn't know what was going on, and I thought it was super cool because I was like 12 when that came out,
I can't
and
wait
they were
for you to
just
watch it
killing
again.
things and fighting each other, and there was like metal music in the background. I was like, this movie fucking rocks because I didn't know any better. But I'm
Some of
excited
that
to look at it
nostalgia
now.
might stick around. That might help.
That's cool.
I remember
mean, metal
watching
music.
that. I remember
Metal
watching
music makes
that movie.
everything better.
What,
remember watching that and
Kevin? What do
wanting
you
to-
have?
Oh,
I have Pirates.
Pirates, right?
You're-
Okay.
Yeah.
You're well off for a couple weeks as well.
That's
Yeah.
not
There's,
bad.
there's a
And
couple
then-
of couple of decent ones.
Pete, what do you have?
I got the
Moores.
7 Roger Moore Bond films.
Oh,
Do I have? Well, here's the thing. Do I have to watch them in chronological order, or can I just like flip around? Because there's no.
I think for
No,
Bond,
it
it doesn't really
doesn't
matter.
matter.
Yeah, because there's no like, other than
Only the
Money Penny.
only the new ones matter. If you
Yeah, Daniel Craig keeps
sequentially,
order, but
Yeah.
the rest of them don't.
Kind of. I mean, yes, sequentially, but there's not really much of a through story. We watched them again recently because the new one was coming out, when it was
Yeah.
still coming out at some
Yeah.
point. And so we watched all of the new Daniel Craig ones, and there's really not much of a story tying them together. It's
Yeah.
very, very loose.
but more than the other Bond movies for sure.
Yeah, but more than the
Yeah.
other Bond movies.
yeah. So, all right, and we have an assignment after this, so I forgot. So yeah, thank you for listening, downloading, watching, however you're enjoying this episode. And what was that, 3 weeks in a row? Not bad.
Yeah, we're on
Way
fire.
to start off the new year.
Killing it.
So at this rate, I'll say with some optimism. Talk to you next week.